just hit the live button. If you can check your signal coming in.
All right, not yet. All right, I should be live right now, family. I should be live. Picking up my brother SupaNova right now. We waiting on Red Pills coming any minute now. Is the family in the building? If the family's in the building, okay. Vinna, Kadi, Gold. Whoever's in the building, let me know how the audio is. This is a whole new setup. I'm in Midtown Manhattan right now with my brother Rozelle, USA live stream. And we are creating some big things. We're doing big things, and I'm networking out here. Peace to the family. I see y'all filling up the chat room. Sounds good? Okay, good. Sounds good.
One thing though.
Yeah.
So I'm on your page, right?
Right.
I don't see on your channel a video. Do you have it on?
No, you're not gonna see it. Yeah, it's on public.
You sure?
Yeah, it's on. They gonna see it. They're gonna see it. I know exactly what you're talking about. They're gonna see it. All right, family. All right, so while we get started, while we wait for brother Red Pill to come through, I definitely want to give a shout out to the brothers and sisters that advertise before on my platform, who have great businesses and products. What we're talking about is an important subject, and economics is part of it. And I want us to start to support each other economically. And one way to do that is to be aware of what's out there. So that's what my channel is for. I want to start out by telling people that there's a new video on my Patreon page, patreon.com/blackmagic363, from the brother Red Pill, the Facts 2020 initiative that deals with food, or clothing, transport, shelter, and how to be economically, how to benefit economically in this digital age that we're in. It's a new blueprint. It ain't the old blueprint that we were taught. Go to college, get a degree, get a job, retire when you're 60, wait on your it's a whole new, your 401k or whatever. It's a whole new blueprint. So Red Pill laid it out for the family, a digital blueprint. So make sure you check that out on the Patreon page. Besides that, I also want to shout out the brother Mike with the crowns. You see everybody with the hats.
Yeah, I got one of those.
You got the hat. You can go to his website. Let me see what the brother website is again. Give me a second. Well, I'm going to put the website in the description bar, but the website, I believe, the number is 212-256-1358. You can contact that brother. Turn that down for me, Rozelle, contact that brother right there to get your crown, your hat. In the Western world, we call it fitted hats, but we call it crowns in the conscious community. Also, joint balance formula for anybody who wants healthy joints. Make sure you contact the brother from riversidetai.com/joint balance formula. That brother got the goods for you. Always good reviews about his product. The brother's been advertising for quite some time, so I'm sure the brother must be doing something right. He also has right now the high quality CBD products with hemp in it. So he has the pain cream, the gummies, the teas, the vape oils, the tinctures. So you make sure you holler at him for that. That's Riverside Tai Chi/CBD. That will be in the description bar as well. And besides that, make sure you contact my brother King Simon for your numerology consultation. The brother always does his thing. One of the best when it comes to numerology. 347-496-1022. His info will be in the description bar. Also, he is bringing Dr. Laila Africa, the legend, the living legend, with Dr. Melanie Stevenson, and they will be having a 3 to 4 hour Q&A. And it's a learning experience. It's much more than a lecture. So make sure you contact the brother King Simon with the same number, 347-496-1022, for more information on that. That is happening, I believe, in April. But besides that, April 28th, Sister Shahrazad Ali, Azra Kwesi will be in Harlem, New York. It's going to be amazing, family. That's going to be in Harlem, New York at the National Black Theater. That's at 2 o'clock. Also contact that same number for information about how to see that lecture. That's the brother King Simon right there. And I believe that's it. That's it for now, SupaNova. What's going on, my brother?
Salute. Yeah. Wellness salute to the family. All is brother, all is abundant, brother Rich. You know, we're in the cradle of the black magic. You know, when we look around, we see, you know, in honor of our beloved brother Nipsey, who is now an Orisha, who is now an ancestor, who is now an Interu. People are triggered, brother Rich.
They said the audio was not good. I mean, I didn't see it. They said the audio is too loud, and they said a little white noise in the audio. You're loud, but the story is a lot of people are saying my mic is very loud. My full family, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, we're about to figure it out.
Give me a second. Give me a second, family. Get this together. Thanks for letting me know, family. I wasn't paying attention to the now they saying oh, y'all good? We good now? We good now, family?
Mic check, mic check.
We good? That's better? All right, yeah, they saying it's better.
How you doing?
A little better now. Maybe I was just screaming. I don't know. I get hyped. I be getting hyped. I just finished telling SupaNova. I get passionate. I be having to calm myself down.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get real passionate and I just sound better. Okay, great.
Brother Rich, do you mind sharing with the family the importance of ritual in the time of being triggered? Because we talked earlier about the importance of meditation in which you ascribe to do a daily meditation. And I would inspire brothers and sisters to take their daily meditation and make it intentional. So you're not just closing your eyes and breathing and visualizing, but you're actually going inside and creating an instruction for yourself, an intention for yourself. So when you come about that meditation, you're actually into the activity, the activation of the work they're here to do. We were talking about that, Brother Rich, about being triggered and using the power of intention. Can you just kind of, can you let the brothers and sisters know a little bit what we were talking about a little earlier?
I think intention is so important. We're waiting. Red Pill is at the door now. We're waiting on Red Pill. Let me just tell the family this. Intention, what's so important about intention is that's the activating factor. Sometimes we could do things, we could meditate for an hour,
right,
and we'll get no result because we don't know what we're doing or we don't know why we're doing it.
Facts.
So we're just doing it aimlessly. Or we may say affirmations and we're saying, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, but we really feel poor inside. So our intention that we're sending, the signal we're sending to the universe is one of poverty. The words we're saying is rich, but it don't mean nothing without the signal is the feeling. The feeling is what the universe picks up on, the vibe.
Facts.
That's the vibe the universe gets. So when I say intention, one thing I want to stress, SupaNova, is that we have to know why we're doing all the spiritual work. Once we know the why, when we do it, we will feel it more.
Right.
It won't be just a chore. It won't be just, oh God, I gotta meditate for 5 minutes today. It'll be like, oh God, is it time to meditate yet?
You're excited. You're
it's
resonating.
It's a difference between, oh God, I gotta meditate. It's robotic versus, you know, a feeling of, oh God, can I meditate yet? Oh God, I can't wait till the next hour and I can meditate it. It's a different feeling. So we have to figure out why we're doing this.
Yeah.
And that's the point. That's what we're trying to hammer to the people, and the point we're trying to make to the people. And that's going to tie into everything we're talking about today, my brother.
Yes.
We have a magnificent conversation we're going to unload on the family today. And
powerhouse.
Truly a powerhouse. Truly a powerhouse. The brother, well, let's start out with saying this. The brother P. Diddy, or Diddy, whatever, right. The brother is Love. I think he
Brother
Love, yeah. Made a very, very, very powerful Instagram post that went viral. I mean, everything he posts go viral, but you get what the point I'm trying to make. It was very touching.
Yeah.
It was very emotional, heartfelt, considering what's going on with Nipsey Hussle, and I just, the way the brother Diddy was speaking, I wish he talked like that all the mother effing time.
Yeah.
But I know everything is balanced, so, it is what it is. But I just really appreciate him for his kind words. You go to his Instagram to see what I'm talking about.
The tone was, all we have is us.
Yes.
And he was reminding us to tap into our, like you said, intention. Let it be backed by our power and our appreciation for each other. So, yeah, shout out to Brother Diddy for that amazing testimonial. But the thing about it, Brother Rich, is to trigger. We want to see how that testimony he shared can trigger others to get into action. Like how you said, it's not just aimlessly, dragging your spirit and your mind together. You're getting into action based upon the vibrational frequency you're resonating from the universe, and your words are just not saying like I'm rich. Like you're actually signaling that you're moving in the abundance. Like when I opened up the affirmation with the family and say we're in the black magic. We're sitting in the cradle of the black magic. Beloved brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, cats and kitties, let's give it up for my brother, your brother, Brother Red, the body red pill. Peace, somebody. Good to see you, brother. Yes, sir. Peace to the God, brother. All is well, beloved. Yes, sir.
Yes, we here.
See our beloved brothers in the house.
So I just told the family. We just spoke with the family about Diddy's Instagram post. One of the things somebody immediately commented was that Red Pill's comment went viral. So, there's a lot of things we obviously have to change within our community, within our culture. The way we treat our women as men. I guess women, the way they treat men. As far as the way women treat their men, let's not forget that it's not one-sided, it's not lopsided, it's both ways. The way we view finances, the way we support each other economically, the way you dress, you are wearing your own clothing from head to toe, and even if you're not wearing your own, you're supporting another brother in the community that is contributing to fashion.
Come on.
So
vested interest.
yes. So that's something that he was talking about.
Yeah. That's right.
The love aspect, us loving each other. The protection aspect. I mean, so many different levels that he touched on. And you brought up a very interesting point, Red Pill, in the comment. Very simply, and within one sentence, you said, in order to change the frequency, you have to change the music.
Yes, sir.
So it made me think. I was like, damn, we got to talk on that. As a culture, as black people, we are the music of the world. We are the rhythm of the world. We are the rhythm nation.
We are the rhythm
We are
nation.
the Janice said we are the rhythm nation.
Furman, we are the rhythm nation.
We are the rhythm nation.
That's right.
Yeah.
The rhyme and the reason as well.
Come on, brother. That's right. That's right.
That's a fact.
So with that being said, the blue and the red, the blue and the red.
Yeah.
So with that being said, my brother, you look at a little kid, a little child or a child, and you watch how they learn, and you try to teach them something for months and months and months. Then you put a song in front of them, and they learn it within 5-10 minutes. A nursery rhyme, a jingle, something with a rhythm, and they learn it like that. Our brain keeps telling us this is nothing but entertainment. But it gets to we're at the point now in 2019, going into 2020, going into 2030, that I think is going to be a completely different world by 2030. That we have to accept the fact that music is the most powerful tool in the world. Our music artists are the most powerful entities in the world. It's no coincidence whether we believe Jesus Christ existed or not. After Jesus Christ, the most powerful person that ever existed was Michael Jackson.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Hands down.
All the kings, who we hear about? This one, that one, the kings, the popes, all these kings, all these queens, all these presidents, all these powerful people. Out of all this, you mean to tell me a goddamn nigga who I don't want to say, let me not say that.
Saint Michael.
But Saint Michael, Archangel Michael, a Negro
right.
from Indiana had more power than all those people?
Because he came off the wall bringing Thriller, Super Bad, and said he was dangerous.
Said he was dangerous.
Right.
And then made history.
It made history. Bro, music.
Prodigy behind you too.
Come on.
Yeah, that's music, right. It's to the point where we have to put music to the forefront of our culture as far as being important and as far as changing, as changed like Red Pill say, and as far as just whatever. Music, hip hop is influencing everything, and not beyond the black community.
Yeah,
advertisers use it with everything, bro.
Yeah,
I'm watching. My son is 6 months old now. I'm watching these PBS and all these channels.
Yeah.
They just rapping all day long.
Wow,
they just rapping. They just rapping all day long, bro.
Wow.
So with that being said, let's talk about this music. We created every musical genre: rap, hip hop, blues, jazz, rock and roll,
soul, gospel,
country, Country.
Shout out to Lil Nas X.
Yeah, come on. But ain't that deep how they banned him out of Billboard? He got Billy Ray Cyrus on the remix. Now he's the number one album in the country, number one song in the country.
You serious?
Oh, yeah, right now.
I didn't look at it.
Oh yeah.
So,
he charted with a viral hit. Right? Old Country Road. My son and them love it. The children love it. Right? They took him off of the billboards because he was taking over country. They said this doesn't follow the quote unquote
criteria of country music.
Even though we got Nelly
right
with the country music, there was a list. They brought Beyonce to sing some country music.
Right.
So it's been there before. So they took it off of the billboard. He said, you know what? Billy Ray Cyrus, who is Hannah Montana's father.
That's right.
Somebody said they can't hear Red. Is it how's his audio? They said they can't hear Red.
Are we better now?
It was off signal? Was it off?
Yeah, it was off.
Oh,
so
wow.
now. So Billy Ray Cyrus, who's Miley Cyrus's Hannah Montana's pops, he hops on a remix. He jumps on a remix. It shoots to number one
in the country.
Overnight in the country.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is a they call it trap country now.
Trap country.
That's a new genre, birthed off of the
Pure nigga shit.
Pure nigga shit.
Always
saying,
nigga, guys.
They got horses. They got brothers riding horses down in Detroit.
That's right, in Detroit.
Say that again?
Brothers are riding horses down the street in Detroit in honor of old Little Extra song. Yeah.
That's right.
Black men with cowboy hats
on the
riding
400th year of
Wow.
the ADOS,
Come
or
on,
the
talk
quote
about it,
unquote curse of the 400 year. This is the Jubilee year.
The Jubilee.
So, you know, for everybody that's running around that like to be in this fear state of what this cowboy or this westernized man is, well, we got people jacking that as well. We're gonna take that. We're gonna take that genre. We're gonna run with that too. Just to show we here.
We here. Yes, brother.
We here.
Yeah.
There's nothing sacred in America anymore. The browning of America is going to encapsulate, is going to disrupt every single corner of this nation. That is a fact.
So before we go any further, one thing I want to talk to the family about, those who may not know the metaphysics of this, and it is that I'm gonna be honest. The person I heard talk about this the best, I did an interview with Brother Polite, and we was at his crib in Harlem, and he talked about how all the organs vibrate on a certain music note, and he talked about the 7 chakras being the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti,
The
do.
scales, yeah.
Yeah, the scales. And I never heard the way he said it, I never heard anybody talk about it, and I later on verified it in several books. But what we have to understand when I say we're rhythm, I mean we're rhythm literally. I'm not saying figuratively, I mean literally.
With music.
Our cells are music.
Yeah.
Literally, every part of our body is vibrating on a certain frequency, on a certain note. When we do these dances, this shit is coming from another dimension. There's a reason why we're able to create all these viral dances consistently. There's a new dance every year.
That's right. You think we ran out of moves?
You would think we ran out of moves by now.
Keep downloading.
Remember the stinky leg? Remember the stinky leg?
Yeah, right.
You would have thought we ran out after the stinky leg. Swag surfing. Remember
they doing the shoot.
The shoot, yeah.
They doing the folk. They doing mad dances.
We never run out. Remember the what's that called? The twist and shot.
The shimmy.
The twist. Yeah, I mean, it's just something new every year.
That's right.
For decades and decades, and I'm sure it's been like that forever.
Well,
there's something in us that's bringing this out.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
the Rhythm Nation.
The Rhythm Nation. Rhythm evolves.
But what I'm saying, Red, is that like you said, all this thing, everything that's going on in society, because we're the Rhythm Nation, until the rhythm changes, which affects the collective consciousness. How can we affect economics? How can we bring back that love chakra? How can we do all these things if our music isn't reflecting that, Red? So you brought that up. So start the conversation on that, my brother, and we'll follow from there.
One of the interesting things that happened today is I saw
Tootsie
a video.
Roll, yeah, Tootsie Roll.
I saw a video by Nipsey Hussle's mother. Her name is Angelique, Mama Angelique, and she pronounced his name correctly for people who may have a problem. She pronounced it Hermes. And automatically I went to my rhyme book and I rhymed Hermes with Hermes.
Hermes. And all he talked about was thought and energy.
Not only, but in Hermes or Hermes, you have the Hermetic principles.
Right.
And in the Hermetic principles, these are known as it's Hermes Trismegistus, right? That's his Masonic title.
It's
Hermes
Tahuti, though.
Trismegistus.
Tahuti, right,
It's
right.
Thoth, and then it's Tahuti. So we're talking about multiple names, multiple identities for entity and a being that spans just melanated Egyptians or Egyptian culture. It goes all the way into Greek culture, Roman culture, westernized thought, Freemasonry, all of these things. This is what we're talking about. And inside of these practices, you have what is known as the Emerald Tablets.
Right.
And the Emerald Tablets speak about laws. There are 7 immutable laws that mankind and humans follow. And this is the law of correspondence.
Law of correspondence.
These are the laws
So
of
below.
gender.
Yep.
On this planet or this plane of existence that we call the earth and whatnot, there is the law of genders. There are 2 genders. There's no such thing as an unknown gender, and I'm not succumbing to a modern day new era technology of a third gender. That's not. That is X gender. That is an abomination on ancient principles.
Yes. That has proven already to work.
That is, yeah. So we have male and female
Right.
genders. Okay. Then we have the law of rhythm, meaning that everything has a rhythm to it. Okay, everything except white people. I'm just saying. We see by their movement something that they cannot hide, something that they cannot necessarily mask, that they are not in alignment with the universal principle of rhythm. They are off in their rhythm. That should automatically sound right, an alarm. They are off with gender. They try to come forward. This is not sponsored by the diaspora. This is not an ADOS sponsored idea about an X gender. It's been trickled down from the top ranks of a Greco-Roman pyramid and rolled downhill, and melanated LBGT people ran with it. This is not coming out of the mind, right, of a 9 ether being.
Right. Facts.
So these people have coming along and they are trying to disrupt all kind of things of our sacred laws. So one of the laws of the sacred rhythm and is the law of vibration. They say that even a rock is vibrating and oscillating, and it has a resonance. Something that we say that, trees don't have a life to them. Rocks are not alive. The water is not living. Well, scientifically, that is a theory that has been proven and debunked on millions of occasions.
That's bullshit. Let me give you a quick example.
Yeah.
I always notice once I stop appreciating something bad. I stopped appreciating my car when I was young at one time. All of a sudden, things started going wrong with it.
Wow.
You took your protection off of it.
That's deep.
And it was vibrating, and I didn't appreciate the vibration that it resonated with.
Yeah.
And it said, "Fuck it, or whatever."
I'm gonna break down. I'm out of here because
right. So I was gonna say, what's the principle of something that appreciates over time? Is the value? Increases, right? So that's powerful.
That's
that's
why whenever we appreciate something, we get more of it.
Right.
That's right.
Whatever you appreciate,
That's right, brother.
you get more of it because that shit is alive.
It's alive.
And it's like, this nigga wants me, I want it. What you want wants you.
That's right. So when the mantra was put forth that hip hop is dead, right?
Oh, wow.
When the mantra was put forth by Kodak Blacks of the world, by the mumble rappers of the world, that they're not rapping for the love of it anymore. They're only rapping for the bag. They don't even love the art. They don't appreciate it. They're only here to do what? To collect. And they don't mind what it is that they rap about. They don't have any hang-ups about what it is that they're promoting because they don't have a love for the art form. They don't have a love for the culture. They don't have a love for advancing the culture.
Right.
They have a personal agenda. They have an individual agenda of advancing their bank account.
Come on.
Thus, and they don't even have a problem that they'll be advancing 100 other people who look nothing like them, who don't belong to the culture, who may not even appreciate and love the culture. They are in alignment with said beings because they don't love the culture either. So they've been tricked and coerced by those people, because nobody could tell me that if you take your time out of your day to rhyme cat and hat, you don't love the culture. Nobody can't tell me that if you were inspired by Cash Money taking over for the 9-9, you was inspired by them. You lying to us. You are fibbing. Nobody could tell me Cardi coming down that pole and she was gyrating and twerking her body and dancing and whatnot to hip hop songs. You cannot tell me that she only loved the money. It's not true. You can't participate in that sacred dance. You cannot participate in erotica dance if you don't love the music that you're dancing
Facts.
to. You're
That's
not
facts, bro.
telling us the truth, sis.
That's right. That's facts.
Bel Kazar, whatever your name is. You feel me? So you had to sit in the boardroom and to become in alignment with vultures that you picked up on don't love the culture. So you resonating with them by saying, yeah, I don't love the culture either. I only want the bag. You going out the Clive Davis way.
Wow.
You going out the culture vulture way. You didn't walk into that label feeling like that. After a while, by being in that label, then you have changed and you've been coerced and you've been quote unquote, you know what I mean? You turn like how Anakin, right?
On the other side of the force, right?
Like how Anakin on the other side of the force got turned out by the Emperor.
You see the sabers.
Yeah.
You see the lightsabers. Stop playing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there was a time, right, where our culture was loved and appreciated. Do you know why I would say that? Because even in the names of our artists, the reflection of the love of the culture and the reflection that they love themselves was very apparent. Can I just give you a quick breakdown?
Yeah, breakdown, brother. Yeah.
You had King Asiatic.
Come on.
Nobody equal. A man calling himself a King Asiatic. That man is Big Daddy Kane. I was having a conversation with a brother who I designed with the other day. He's younger than me, right? He's of Philippine ancestry, and he did not know who Big Daddy Kane, Bismarcky, or the Juice Crew. He didn't know He didn't even know some of the names of the Wu-Tang Clan. Wow. So here it is. I walk around thinking that everybody knows about knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone. That's KRS-One.
Right.
Queen Latifah,
Come on.
Big Daddy Kane, Big Pun, Big L, Big Papa, right?
Rakim Allah.
Rakim Allah, right? These are powerful names. There's a resonance, there's a vibrational frequency to these names.
Yeah.
They paint a picture when you say these names. These are not Lils, these are not Youngs, and there's no offense to the people who adapted them, but when we saw that those bigs begin to die. Big Pun, Bronx, right? Died.
Big L.
Big L, Harlem, died. Biggie Smalls, Brooklyn, died. Woo! Big Baby Jesus, Brooklyn. Wow. Staten Island, died. Damn. Right? Then we got Little Yeezy. We got Little Wayne. We got Young Jeezy. Right? We got Lil Boozy. Right? We got Lil Zane. Then Little Wayne. And then when you go to Spotify, this is a Googleable fact. There are 8,000 Lils on Spotify. 8,000 competing for a stream. 8,000 is mushroomed into 8,000 Lils. So if there's 8,000 Lils, if you're running around saying that you're little, right? And you are casting, you're standing in the shadow of the towers of the bigs. These are all icons now. All of them, all of the big ones are all iconic, right? But they're not here with us right now. It's been replaced by the Lils and the Youngs. But the mentality of reflecting the name.
The name.
You understand?
Yes, bro. Yeah.
You can't be Lil and talk about Buy Back the Block. It goes against the perception of what little niggas do. right? So Negroes don't grow past the knees.
That's deep. You can't be talking about little. Them talking about by the block. Come on.
It's not a little. That's not a little action.
Come on.
You gotta be.
Come on.
You have to think big in order to buy back the block. You feel me? Because
you,
buying
bro.
back the block is you know, that's a big. That's what big boys do. But to run from the plug, that's what little niggas do. You know what I mean? It's
Run
it
from
takes
the plug.
nothing to run from the plug. You just gotta have a turn off your locations and have a hideout spot. You know what I'm talking about? So they've simplified something that was once more intricate. We were taking off and moving into the realms of intricate thought with our musicians who were going against, who were not. They remember the frequency of music already changed to the 440, but they were still going against what was done.
So Red,
Before the creation of hip hop. We're gonna get into the changing
Red,
of the
do
frequency.
you think that Nipsey's death is triggering the littles? You know, in a way, is it? Do you think they is opening up the possibility for them to be triggered up out of the little and the young?
Of course, what we have in Saint Nip is what I define as the Ascension Protocol, right? Ascension Protocol is when we lose one of our messianic ones, the Messiahs. Messiahs have within their quote unquote auric fields, and within their quote unquote, you know, within their human flesh, but they're spiritual beings,
Right.
but within their auric fields, within their quote unquote personalities, just within them as a vessel, as a container of spirit, they have a messianic spirit. When the spirit leaves the host, or when it leaves the husk, or when you give up the spirit, then you're able to see the impact. It's called Ascension Protocol. You will not be crowned while you're here. You understand? Kings get their heads cut off. You cannot reign. You cannot hold court on a higher realm. You can't stand in two places at once. You can't obey two gods at once. You can't obey two gods at once. So when he ascended, he didn't die. And his mother, Angelique, she will explain that. You don't have to listen to Red Pill. I put anybody's mother's word over anything that anybody else says. Yeah. It's mama first. Yeah.
Anybody,
they baby mama, they wife, their brother. It's mama first. So it's what she says first, and then what everybody else who didn't give birth to anybody, the person that we're talking about, is them second.
Right. Facts.
Mama said that he ascended. Mama said that when she saw the body, he does not look like he was taken out of here horrifically. Mama said he's at peace. Mama said he's in a house with all of them, and he's stronger now than he was before. Mama said whoever tried to destroy his legacy is a fool because they only made it stronger. So what Mama says is law. And what I'm saying is this. The homies who are obviously going through what they're going through with all of us, and many of us, and a majority of us is going through, and that's the lack of the big brother syndrome. That's the lack of the big homie. That's the lack of a father figure. That's the lack of, because remember, I could point 100 different scenarios of our brothers and sisters that belong to the culture of hip hop who are suffering in public because of the loss of their father. And they've admitted it. Tekashi talked about it.
That's right, yeah.
You understand?
He did. Yeah.
21 Savage, whose father's a legend, he talked about the fact that he was hurt because daddy wasn't there. Offset talked about daddy wasn't there. Jay-Z said daddy wasn't there. Biggie said daddy wasn't there. Puff lost his daddy. He said daddy wasn't there. We're talking about the fact that our brothers are suffering from what has taken place. It's called the pathology of the entanglement. What is it? From the Moynihan report. I'm gonna remember the term, but he spoke about the fact that the father was missing and that the black family is doomed for failure as a result of that. That foundation that we needed was daddy. It was the big homie. It was Papa, and Nipsey has ascended.
That's the ultimate G checker, huh? That's the ultimate nigga that G check you. Your dad,
G-check.
your pops.
That is the
Nigga,
ultimate
what you doing?
Yeah.
Like imagine Kodak had a dad. Nigga, what you said?
Well, look how
Take that shit down.
Kodak
Yeah,
responded humbly when all of
That
the
father energy.
The father and the father energy,
right, and check
the
them-
game,
Right.
Ti.
Yeah, he didn't do the typical. I thought he was gonna actually do the typical what they do. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That
He
little-
actually,
He
he
did
actually,
that at first.
but then he actually said, "I apologize." That when all the alphas came together,
It
That's
was
right.
too much. It was
Yeah.
too much for him.
Too many lines on the.
Too many
when
lines. Too many more.
Getty was
too
forming
many
up.
lines.
You know when the pride starts forming up, you be like, damn, Simba, Mustafa, and Scar.
they united.
Like too many. Like
Too many of y'all.
y'all got it. Y'all got it. Y'all got this one.
I'll
Y'all got
lick
this
my
one.
wounds. I take this L.
We opened
So,
the way
yeah.
real quick, Ray. You opened the way, and you was saying the connection between the principle of Tahuti and Nipsey. Tahuti is powerful because Tahuti holds. You talked about earlier, Brother Rich, about music. Tahuti is actually the one that holds the measure of the balance in the scales. Right? So
Good point, good point.
so Tahuti is the one. If you ever see the judgment scene, the Tahuti is actually holding and counting, the accounts. It's almost
Yeah,
like
it's the accounts.
it's like so the MC is observing life and then documenting, and so Tahuti is actually emceeing the judgment scene.
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying, and keeping in the measures and the counts in time. In the principle of ma'at, as reciprocity, as balance, as propriety. So I just wanted to give that right back to you, Ray. You were saying how Nipsey was on because of his name, and connecting to the Tahuti frequency. I think that's real powerful.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
One thing I want Red to go in because me and Red been talking a lot behind the scenes about, and one thing before I get into that, one thing me and Nove talked about before the cameras came on was that the death of Nipsey Hussle, the transition, is like his mother said, it ain't no death.
The ascension.
That the ascension is a spiritual trigger for our people.
It is.
In order for things to happen or things to occur,
It is.
or minds to be elevated. This is the spiritual trigger. It's like a vortex or something that open up or something like that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to talk about, because there's a huge argument in our community. A lot of fingers pointing. I was kind of mad at you and your brother for I talked to y'all about the whole conspiracy theory versus gang violence kind of thing. And I want to focus more on the spiritual aspect of things. And I actually did a show when the day he passed away and made a transition, and I brought up a book
That's right.
that I talked about for over 30 minutes.
That's right.
And the name of the book was called Keys to Inner Space by Leeham Heisley. A book, and we're in an era where everything is available on Google or Amazon or eBay. This book is nowhere to be found anywhere. So I brought it up. People were like, where can I get it? Days later, somebody contacts you, right? Correct?
Somebody contacted
You tell the
me.
story. Yeah.
I was contacted via text by an avid listener, somebody who's a supporter, right? They mentioned the fact that they were in touch with Nipsey Hussle a few times when he came to New York, because contrary to what people may realize, he did come to New York often, and he was embraced by the sets out here.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? The video rap niggas. He's in the hood heavy. I know that he linked up with a brother by the name of Special, who is he rides with Busta Rhymes and all of them, real heavy in the streets. And the brother said, I linked up with Nipsey a few times when he was in New York. I just wanted to let y'all know that he often talked about, y'all brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was an avid YouTube scholar. He was into the scholars on YouTube. He was he listened, Derek Grace and him, they're very close. Shout out to Derek Grace and the Grace Tribe and whatnot. He was about to open up. He was going to be the surprise guest for Derek Grace's Unlearn Relearn Academy. He was going to cut the ribbon. He rolled, he was building with Jay Morrison, Bob Back the Block and things of that nature. We saw the video where he was building with Tariq Nasheed, so he definitely was in alignment with the scholars. But one of the things that he wrote in the text message that blew me away and showed me the power of the collective, the fact that we are all tapped into the same Wi-Fi.
Woo.
He said the brother had a book with him that I saw him reading twice, and he was telling me about this book, and he mentioned the name of the book and the author of the book, and it was the same book that Brother Rich was talking about on his show.
And I had no idea.
And Rich had no idea. I texted that brother so quick.
Wow.
It was like, fam, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Yo,
this is
that's
how the
powerful,
spirit
bro.
For
works.
me to do what would you call that, eulogy, or what do you call that, like a show that you did when you give somebody honor and respect for the transition?
Yeah, you
Eulogy.
gave him a
For me to
eulogy.
do that and then bring out a book that this brother's reading, and I have no idea that he's reading it.
Come on.
No idea at all.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah,
That's a spirit. You know, a matter of fact,
that's powerful stuff.
the way the spirit aligns. There's a brother, the brother that was in this room before you came here, Red. He said, "Yo," but right before when me and SupaNova came in the room, he said, "Oh shit, I didn't know SupaNova was coming." He said, "Yo, I just walked by the hallway. There's a magazine out there right now that says SupaNova on it." Right. So it's like this synchronicity within the universe.
Let me say something.
Where everything alike aligns with each other.
We're from Voltron.
Without even knowing it. Without even knowing it.
Because
yeah.
we are living in a precarious times. We are living in what is known as the Jubilee year.
Woo.
We can't play with this thing
yes.
and conveniently tap in whenever it's convenient for us.
Right.
I said it in the beginning of the year, and I stand on it. And I'm looking at the world through these rose-colored glasses because I am approaching everything from a spiritual, synchro-mystical standpoint. And I said, this is the Jubilee year. This is the 400th year of the ADOS, quote-unquote, 400-year curse. Come on. Talk black to me. You know what I'm talking about? Like, either it is or it's not. Come on.
Facts, brother.
Either it is or it's not. And when things like this take place, this whole year is going to be synchro-mystical and spiritual.
Synchro-mystical.
Facts. So, the fact that
Come on.
an Eritrean, right, who is a descendant, who is rumored to be, and when I go to the funeral on Thursday, I'm going to solidify it when I speak to his Umi, who I just found out is related to my Umi's best friend, her name is Eleanor Harvey, right? Eleanor and Nipsey's Umi are cousins. His mother said that on tape. That is a fact.
Wow.
That tape, the video by request of the family, she doesn't want it on TMZ. She requested that it remain private. So that's what it's going to be. You know what I'm talking about? But y'all will get to be introduced to her during his on Thursday when they bury you, because the world is going to be introduced to his Umi. Because she's going to bring the house down when she opens her mouth. You got a preview of it, Rich.
I heard her talk today, bro. I got a video. Listen, I was seconds from uploading it. Seconds. And then I got the call and they said, "Listen, Rich, don't upload it just yet. Wait a little while. We want some things to go down first." But I had a video with her speaking. I've never heard a woman talk like this after her son made a transition, ever.
All healing.
Ever.
His father is from Eritrea and she's from here? Is that so?
I'm not. Well, he looked just like his mother.
Well, yes. Well, there's a beautiful combination. She is of Creole descent, from what I've been told. That's the translations to Aboriginals and indigenous people of this land.
That's right.
Who were not part of the 13 colonies.
Right.
Let's talk about it.
Come on. Yeah.
I don't think y'all want to have this, which you're going to be forced to have the conversation. So it doesn't even matter. It's the Jubilee year. There is a cleansing taking place.
Alignment.
They're washing our people up. The youth are being cleaned. The youth are being positioned. They're putting them. Somebody is touching their hearts.
Come on.
Somebody is speaking to them. Somebody is touching their souls. Somebody is bringing back a God frequency. You know what I'm talking about? You have to be either in alignment or you're going to be totally off, as we've seen.
Yeah.
There's people that are off.
Yeah.
So what this year represents and what his energy represents, and the fact that a comment like that to the wealthiest man in hip hop will go viral is because
He's talking about Diddy.
The Diddy aspect. The people spoke. It wasn't me. I put a simple comment. I wasn't belligerent. I wasn't even hit. I wasn't red pilling them. I just said, in order for the people to change,
The music.
the frequency has to. No, in order for the frequency to change, the music has to change.
Come on.
I didn't follow that up with, and you should. I didn't act Clive Davis
right.
and say, you should ask him what I'm talking about,
Right.
because he's a culprit. He's the number one suspect in the hijacking of our culture, soul music, and then hip hop by way of the fact that he brought on that he brought in that boutique label which is called Bad Boy. That was a Clive Davis thing. But Clive Davis, the first video me and Rich did when we created this bond that we have is we did a video in 2012 in Brooklyn when he was on Fulton Street, 2013, 2012. No, it was 2012 because I was living. My daughter's mother had just moved in with me from Florida, and we talked about the conspiracy. If you want to get into conspiracies, it was a conspiracy to turn into fact about the white paper that Clive David about the white paper on how to infiltrate what is known as soul music, and how they started with Gamble and Huff, and how the black owned labels like Motown and all of these quote unquote labels, they were doing what? They were changing the frequency. They were changing the quote unquote tonalities and frequency. They were tapping into the love frequency. They were tapping into the black power frequency. They were tapping into the God frequency. They were tapping into high level frequencies, and they were healing the people. We did not have race of cancer. We didn't have race of heart disease. We didn't have all of the sickness that we have nowadays because of the frequency of the music. People were proud to look at the cover of Ebony and Jet in the 70s.
Come on, man. Just looking at that. It's a turning fork. It's about music. Just look at those covers. It just does something for your vibratory frequency. Just looking at your people.
Look at MJ's video, Off the Wall. Look at Soul Train Dance Line.
Come on, brother.
Talk black to me. Look at the blaxploitation videos. Look at Pam Grier.
Yeah, come on, brother. Yeah.
Come on.
Come on, brother. Yeah. Powerful.
You will lose me if they gave me the decision to time travel or to stay here with y'all and wait for the Detox album to drop. You would lose me, because I would go back to those times, because the frequency of the 70s and the late 60s and even the early 80s was a magical, majestic, mystical one, and it was of a healing energy. And like I said, his mother has healing energy. Your mother, your Umi, Queen of Four, healing energy. Mama Pill, healing energy. These are the wisdom. These are the elders who have wisdom. I believe they call that crones and whatnot. They have a wisdom that our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our uncles, our fathers, we need that. When you listen to Nipsey's video clips now, when you listen to his music, healing energy. He's not operating. He's operating on a 432 hertz. He's not necessarily on a 440 hertz. When you listen to the music, when you listen to Farrakhan speak, when you listen to Marcus Garvey speak, when you listen to the great ones, when you listen to Nina Simone, when you listen to jazz, Coltrane and whatnot. Coltrane was a scientist. He talked about being able to see sound. When you listen to and I'm gonna give him a leeway. When you listen to Kanye's orchestra, he's doing Sunday service now. With pure instruments and things of that nature. He said that he's tweaking it. They said that Dr. Dre was going to make an album dealing with the frequencies of all of the planets, not on the quote-unquote 440 gigahertz frequency. That 440 hertz, which was changed in the 50s, is responsible for the madness that we're seeing, for the dumbing down that we're seeing, for the devolution of mankind that we're seeing right now. Wow. That's not a conspiracy, family. It's not. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
So we got to go back. Yeah. We got to start on all levels. If we can identify all of these quote unquote with Dr. Francis Cress Wilson and Neely Fuller identified as all of the departments of what they call white supremacy, we got to disrupt it with God frequency. How about that? How about black supremacy on a God frequency tone? You feel me?
And Red, that's the tone that bridges the continuum of our ancestral power to our present power and our future power. That's the resonance.
It's the tone.
It's the tone.
It's the resonance.
Yeah.
The language of the universe is sound. There's no numbers floating around, 4s and 5s. If you're a musician, you know that the numbers translates into the tones. You feel me?
And the tones translates into colors. It's
And
like
the
all
tones
interconnected.
translates- It's all integrated and connected.
The Great Pyramid of Giza is built at the center of the planet.
Mhm.
It's
That's right.
actually aligned. When I went and visited over about 20 years ago, you could, if you go close to the stone, you can hear it humming.
They say.
It's some deep, like this thing is.
The living-
Ain't no slaves built no humming mathematical line at the center of the earth.
That's
So you
right.
telling me something that's humming now as an energetic generator of the planet, a slave, someone that was enslaved, built something that's still humming right now to this day, and that they can't even fathom how to duplicate the humming. But we just gonna believe that oppression built that science. Mathematically, if I'm oppressed, I'm gonna build something that's mathematically aligned to the center of the earth.
That's
Well,
oxymoron.
in order for me to germinate all of those harmonic souls together, for the structure to still be humming, we have to be in one accord. Everybody has to be in the instrumentation over 20 years
That's right.
to make a solid structure, Brother Red, to be humming to this day.
Remember, the Ptolemies did not build sacred structures.
Structures.
And if slaves even ever built any structures in Kemet, it's the pyramids that's falling apart. Them sloppy ass looking ones. Like they probably tried it with them on that.
Yeah, they on that.
But
Yeah.
what we see on the Giza pyramids, that's God frequency. God's hands touch that.
Come on.
Those were scientists and engineers and mathematicians
Come
of
on,
the
brother.
highest orders, and they were vibrating on a higher frequency because of the frequency of the quote unquote tunes or the resonance, the overall resonance. I'm gonna read before this is over a definition about the 440 hertz, so
Come
you
on.
can understand what that means and why people are trapped in that. So when you listen to Beethoven, when you listen to Bach, when you listen to all of this classical music, that is the music that I listen to when I want to cure myself of lower entities trying to take over. When my tethered or tethered self is climbing up from the lower bowels, from the, you know how the Pennywise, the it clown was in the sewer?
Pennywise,
You feel me? With my lower self. So I go to sleep listening to binaural beats. So I go to sleep listening to opera music. So I go to sleep listening to the best of Aretha. So I go to sleep listening to some Prince. So I go to sleep because sometimes I know how I am as a Scorpion. I could wake up and I wake up in my lower self. You understand? So I have to combat my lower frequencies. So when I wake up, I'm waking up in my godhood. I'm waking up in my lower self because it depends on how I start my day. That's how my whole day is going to be dictated. So if I wake up and I lose the war, the minute I wake up, goddamn it, my whole day is ambush. My whole day is going to be sabotaged.
What are the top 3 things you can give brothers and sisters to do based upon what you just said? You know, to begin to resonate on that God frequency. What are the first 3 things, action steps?
What will work for me, and what I would highly encourage the family to do, and what I'm trying to share with my good brother Love Diddy, one of my fellow Scorpion kings, because he is a king in his own kingdom, is we have to create mantras out of. I have a brother by the name, one of my first producers, Truck Turner, right? Mac Truck Turner. He made a tape where he was saying positive affirmations over Biggie beats, right?
Wow. What?
The Tank Crack. He might have Machine Gun Funk. I am great. I am God. I am great. I am God. I am great. I am God. And I used to play that every morning as I worked out to get me hyped and get me in alignment, because and they often say wake up and be positive and speak positive to yourself. But what if you wake up like Meek Mill said in trauma?
Come on, Steve.
Want to kill something? What if you wake up and your ribs is touching and you don't know where your next dollar's coming from? What if you wake up and you go to your account and it's negative? What if you wake up and you got BM issues and whatnot? Or what if you wake up and people are trolling? What if you wake up and the sun is not out and it's all chemtrailed and cloudy and damp and like June and whatnot? You know how New York weather is.
Yeah.
So you got to gas yourself up in the morning.
Gas. Put the fuel in.
Got to put the fuel in. Some of us are lucky, some of us are lucky enough to have a queen wake us up, whispering sweet nothings in our ear, and she's bringing breakfast in bed.
Come on, tuning fork.
tuning you up. I'm talking about tuning you up.
Yeah.
And during that tune-up session, I would encourage you to.
He said, "Bring the mic closer, Red."
In that tune-up session, I would encourage you, both
I heard
man
you,
and
family.
woman.
I heard you in the comments.
I would encourage you to go into a meditation where you begin your affirmations.
Powerful.
You understand?
Yeah.
So you may be getting pleasured. You know what I'm saying? In many ways and whatnot by your significant other in that pleasurable time. Or in that time of intercourse, when you enter the course and you become one with the universe.
Come on.
Right?
Come
like
on.
Dr. Ben said,
That's right.
in between the legs of the melanated woman is the keys, is the
heavens.
gates of heaven.
She's newt.
Newt. So you tap it in.
She swallows you
and that's right. She swallows you and
It shoots out light.
But the euphoric sense that we feel, the euphoric state of being that we feel when we connect is the oneness that they talk about that you feel in death. It's the oneness that they talk about that you feel in perfect meditation. It's the oneness that people are trying to attain to in even in their yoga practices. It's the oneness that people who have come back, who had near-death experience, they said it felt like an orgasmic experience. I was orgasming every single second. Woo. So when that orgasmic experience of intercourse, when you enter her course and you connect and you tap in and you become one, you're breathing the same. You might even be thinking the same. You understand?
Synchronicity.
You may be it's synchronized swimming. You might when you stroke, she strokes. Left stroke.
When
back
I move,
stroke.
you move.
When
Just
I move,
like that.
you move.
Just like that.
That's like that.
So
Just like that.
that's a flow state, though.
That's the flow.
That's the flow state.
The flow state.
You ever had
That state, brother. You said the flow state. I just had to take a tactical
Hey.
pause on that. The flow state.
That's right. You ever had Mr. Marcus take over?
Woo.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be vulgar,
just-
but you know, you ever been going in and then and Mr. Marcus took over, and then you don't have to be thinking about when you going in and you got to think about a baseball game or something, or you got to think about a card game, or you got to think about you know what I'm saying, the last episode of Peppa Pig that you was watching, so you don't slip up. But then you tap into your flow state and everything takes over. You're not walking on eggshells.
Come on, brother.
You're not, you know what I mean? You and her is one.
Because that flow state puts you
That
at
is
your dead
that's
column.
right.
You like that's your dead column.
Your dejet pillar,
Come on.
your
The
dejet
second-
column, meaning your backbone, is called the dejet pillar. Your dejet column is now erect and upright and straight.
Upright.
And you don't have to worry about spilling your seed prematurely. You don't even have to worry about ending it off before she gets to where she got to go. You dig what I'm saying? But I'm just saying all of that because that's the magical moment. That's the programming moment. That's the realignment moment. That is the manifestation moment where you put things into the universe that you want to come into fruition, that you want to bring down the tree of life into Malkuth. But it's through the Sephiroths and whatnot. This is Kabbalah talk. Talk black to me. Shout out to AA. This
Did you
is
say
when
that about intention, brother Rich? You said it earlier. What he's reflecting.
the
What you said
semen
earlier.
retention,
Yeah.
you're bringing down high thought. You're bringing down lofty ideas through the tree of life. She is the tree, but you're bringing down those thoughts within that session. You understand? And when you either orgasm or whatnot, or even when she orgasms and you retain the seed, you know what I'm saying, for part two or deuce or trace, you know what I mean? That's where the magic is.
Let me tell you
That's
something.
where the power is.
Some years ago, I was in a flow state with this Zulu sister, right?
Yeah.
And we locked in so deep, right? Where she started speaking in the Zulu language,
In the Zulu tongue.
while we were in the flow state.
Facts.
And she said, "Do you feel it?" I said, We felt like we were surrounded by all of our combined ancestors.
That's right.
Have circled us in the ritual. She was speaking that Zulu. We were such a rhythm between the breathing and the Zulu tone. We were surrounded by the ancestors in the flow state that Brother Red is talking about.
Don't worry, sisters. I'm working on an app called Uber Skeets. You could order some cosmic phallus. You know what I'm talking about?
Yo.
Don't you know what I'm saying? I'm working on it because people need tuning these days in these streets. So I heard about it. I heard they need some tune-ups. So Uber Skeets.
Energy
It is,
Yeah, you could just order the airplane.
Listen, SupaNova, one thing I want to talk to you about, my brother, since we're talking about changing the frequency of music, radio has created this dynamic where the majority of our culture is only interested with what's being played on the radio.
Fact.
Meanwhile, our people are into every musical genre. We have created everything. You mentioned jazz to a brother under 40. He like, jazz? The fuck I want to listen to some jazz for? You like, well, you know, your culture, your people created jazz. He's like, word? I don't. You wouldn't know that if you go to a jazz club, it's all white people
Kenny
there.
G.
If you go to a rock concert,
Right.
you wearing a Purple Rain hat, Prince and all that. People don't even know about black Jimi Hendrix and
Right.
rock and all of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You listen to Jimi Hendrix and rock, they're like, what the fuck is you talking about? They think about Elvis Presley. They think about Metallica. They think about all white names. So my brother, what allowed you to tap into the whole musical spectrum and not just to focus on what's being heard on the radio, my brother? Because I heard your album is dope. You tapping into the love chakra. You tapping into many different chakras. The do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So talk to me, my brother.
Well, what I tell you, what inspired me was becoming a Prince fan at 7. So what happened was I was a staunch Michael Jackson fan, right, which I still am, and Prince. I never forgot when I saw When Doves Cry, right? I saw the video, and I saw him with this beautiful woman, right? I was like 7, Apollonia, right? And then I was like, who is this frequency? Like, what is this? And I never forgot that. And then I started to research him. He found out to be a musician. He used to play, play piano, play the drums, guitar. And then I got so in tune with his legacy, I wanted to see, well, what inspired him? And that's what took me down the Stevie Wonder portal, the Earth, Wind & Fire portal, the James Brown portal, the Jimi Hendrix portal, the Santana portal, the Sly Stone portal, the Little Richard portal, all these sonic portals. And the deeper I started to go into those portals, I started to see the sonic DNA of our people and how everything interconnects. And I said, wait a minute. We're the architects of this whole entire thing.
That's right.
And when you think about hip hop, when hip hop was first, the first alignment commercially was the Chic record, right? Good Times, right? And right. So hip hop in the beginning, the Rapper's Delight, was that the name of the song?
Yeah.
Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang, right? That's the first commercial song. So all of what made music at that point, the artists were aligned to the different frequencies. And see, the thing about it, they never really wanted us to tap into the universal element of our power. When Hendrix was, I saw an interview with Hendrix, right? Hendrix said that he was using sound to open up frequencies for black people to vibrate at a different rate. And so that's why he would tune or detune his guitar to certain type of frequencies. And right before he passed Red, he formed what they call a band of gypsies. And it was him, Billy Cox, and what's the other brother that was with him, beloved brother? It was Hendrix. Right. So, right. So the band of gypsies. And so his thing was, his answer to what the Panthers was doing, he said he wanted to do it with sound with black folks. So he grew his afro out. You say, like our beloved Red. Look at his afro. Look at that sun. Look at the sunshine. Right? He grew that out, and he was tapping into the frequencies. But between the Hendrix time and when Prince did Purple Rain, when he had his moment, that we didn't have any commercial rockers. That's right. And so when the white boys got inspired by the rock, they went to the demonic frequency with it. They took the guitar and they took the vortex and they detuned. They detuned it. See what I'm saying? So when Hendrix was vibrating on the other spectrum sonically to raise the frequency and the resonance, when the white boys took what Hendrix was doing, because he was no longer there, it was all the black people echoing him, they detuned what Hendrix was doing. Yes. And so it took up into that whole journey where you saw Purple Rain, Prince was starting to get back into retuning up again and opening that pocket. That same pocket, we have Michael Jackson, totally doing the Thriller, right? So me being 7, 8 years old like yourself, we come up in the 80s, in that time, seeing the bigness of these artists, how they were able to impact, being from the hood where we from,
that's right,
and impact the globe with their tones.
Global.
Inspired me, Brother Red and Brother Rich, to want to begin to take back our music fearlessly. As an MC, fearlessly take back your melodies. Like what Rakim said, check out my melody. Check it. Right? Take back the melodies. Take back the tones. Because see, they're taking it and they're running with it. You know, there's this classic jazz group called Lambert, Hendrix, and Ross. I want you to look them up. Now, the Bone Thugs, Migo flow you hear now, they were doing that in the 50s. Look them up, Lambert, Hendrix, and Ross. That's how I was able to get my speed rap popping back when I was young, because I was listening to the jazz, because Lambert, Hendrix, and Ross were imitating the horns.
Okay.
Right, so what they would do is they would take what Charlie Parker and them were doing, and they would write lyrics to the lines, to the lyrics, right? And then so they move. So they were taking the horn lines and putting lyrics to it. And so look them up. They call Lambert, Hendrix, and Ross. And so which we heard later on with Bone Thugs and that melodic flow. With Das Effects, and even now with the Migos and the choppy flow, a lot of that they don't even understand. Those are recycled horn lines. These are out of the bed. This is jazz. It's a foundation.
Deep, my nigga. Bro, you know what you did? That's deep. Oh my God. Hold up, bro. Wow, that was amazing. What? I hope y'all just heard. You just dropped some shit.
It's
you just dropped some shit.
These are horns.
Wow. What I want to ask you? Wow, that was deep. I'm trying to ask a question, but wow, that was deep. It seems as though when you get more into our musical spectrum, like you did, our people feel as though you're becoming too feminine. So they look at your most recent video, Breathe, and they will say, "Why is SupaNova acting like that? Why is he moving like that?" Our people assume that men are supposed to act and behave in a certain way, because we are the most masculine creatures on the face of the earth. So when they see a brother like yourself who represents gangs, the red and the blue, we got the red in here and the blues in the chat room, moving like how you moving and singing how you singing, it's a glitch in their program. It's like, what the fuck is going? Why is SupaNova acting and behaving? Why is his hair that color? It's something we can't understand. Why does he like Prince so much? What the fuck why is he infatuated? So talk to me about our perception of masculinity versus the Jimi Hendrix, the Princes, the Michael Jacksons, the Little Richards, all of our musical legends who existed.
Well, let's get into the metaphysics of the song Breathe. It's me as a divine masculine serenading the divine feminine. Okay? The concept of breathe, right? And me moving like I was moving, I'm taking the form of air. I'm an air sign. I'm Aquarian in the Aquarian age. And so I'm using the frequency as divine complement to open the consciousness love pocket of the divine feminine. It's a song for the divine feminine. You know, so if the brothers wasn't jacking it, it wasn't for you to really jack. It's for you to tap into your breathing with your queen. Right? I'm resonating to the wombly verse. I'm dancing to the wombly verse. I'm serenading the wombly verse to transform the frequency. Now, you said a lot. You said, okay, well, how can SupaNova, talk about? Well, as a warrior, I'm a warrior. When I'm at war, when I'm unifying my brothers, I'm doing that. But when I'm dealing with my woman, I'm dealing with my woman. I can take all of that hardness and I can be gentle. I can direct the flow. I can direct the breathing.
You're not at war with the Yanni. You're not at war.
No, bro. First of all,
you ain't beating it up.
No, brother. I worship in the Yanni. See, it's another thing. You can beat the Yanni, but see, when you worship in the Yanni, okay, when you give divine adoration in the Yanni, see, you're speaking real life into the Yanni. It's a different frequency than when you beat it up. So the song Breathe and those frequencies is exactly that. When you're making love with your divine counterpart, you are tapping into the breath. That's why the hook is, and I'm breathing with you. I'm making love to not only your body, but your consciousness and your thoughts. Okay, and the deeper we breathe together. And the lyrics in the song is really telling my woman to take, though I'm here with you. Most women have trauma. 90%, 95% of women I've ever known have been raped and molested. So with my song, I wanted to go back in with the lyrics to let a woman know that there's no rushing with this sacred ritual we're doing in our breathing. I am patient with you. I'm steady with you because I know you have had trauma. So I have to be gentle with you, black woman, because I know you've been raped and molested. And so I have to be mindful of my touch with you. I got to be mindful of my movement with you, right? Because I'm helping to create an environment where you can re-express yourself past your trauma. And that's why I'm breathing with you. And my love is motherfucking gangster. I'm not here. It's not a race. You know what I'm saying? I want more brothers and sisters to be I want to trigger motherfuckers to say, yeah, that nigga SupaNova is so far out. I'm triggered to express myself how I'm going to express myself. Because guess what? You can call me names, but I'm still breathing with your woman. So you talking stuff about me, but I'm being inboxed about breathing sessions. Brother, can you teach me how to breathe? Brother, can you give me alignment? I mean, so while you doing that on that level, instead of saying, brother, how can I get some game? How can I get some metaphysical game on how to be a divine sacred king man to my woman? How can I get some game to be a compliment to my divine woman? You talking that type of tone, but this is what Puffy said in the video. Didn't he say, why are we even speaking to each other and we're not speaking godly to each other? Remember that time we had the thing with the trolls coming up on our show? We was live, and I said, brother, let's bless these trolls. They want our attention. That's right. Let's convert them to our frequency. Like the frequency that Blue and Red we talk about, the flow frequency.
Some of them too. We reformed
some of the trolls, right? So brother, it's about what makes our artists great is that you step out the norm of what you are supposed to be expected to do in the box. We love Michael because he jumped out of that box. We love Prince because he jumped out of the box. We love James Brown because he kept remixing the box. Right? So if I can inspire brothers, right, to tap into don't do what I do. That's my moves. That's my thing, right? You may have another manifestation of a groove that you do. Allow that to open your groove, whether you rap, whether you sing, whether you're a musician, tap into your groove and manifest your groove. Because I'm doing that. But guess what? The gangster thing don't stop. I'm still unifying the hood, right? Because I'm called to do that service. So what? Just because I'm with my brothers and I'm G'd up, I can't service my sisters? I cannot be of service to that? Well, if you want to hear me rapping, doing my rappity rap thing, I have 9 albums. I got thousands of songs digitized. If you want to hear me rappity rap, you want to hear some metaphysical stuff, you want to hear me rappity rap, then do that. But for this frequency, I'm singing, and I'm gonna keep singing. And while unifying the hood and healing the motherfucking hood.
Jay said
on Bloods.
Jay said you want my old stuff, buy my old albums. buy my old albums if you want the old stuff.
I mean, listen, look, didn't you hear when my brother said red and blue, purple like Prince? Come on. Right? Come on. They told you, red and blue told you, red and blue, purple like Prince. Right? And then here I come. Look. They done ushered the Aquarius through the vortex. And here I say, brothers, wellness salute.
And then we see going down in the streets that red and blue coming together is what? What does that look like? Purple like Prince. To see the Bloods and the Crips walking down Crenshaw in those clips that we see.
Amazing, brother.
Amazing.
It was
that was power. That was royalty from a gutter street level.
Woo.
Since everybody wants to participate in gutter culture, that's what y'all infatuated by. Well, you saw unification. That's the high. You saw unity. You saw them, bro. You saw when because red is strong and blue is strong, but together they purple. And if that brother's transition or his ascension is, if he did not die in vain. You understand?
On,
if his ascension and transition and whatnot brings about the fact that we could get our street organizations to organize and to fall under the quote unquote mentorship or tutorship of the FOI, because that's who's winning out there right now.
Right.
You understand? What the FOI and the NOI is doing and the MGT by being the big homies to the homies, because it's the big homie energy taking over right now, right?
That's right, brother.
They're saying,
We talk, I don't mean to cut you off. Me and Nova was talking about extensively before you came, the big homie energy and this whole situation with Kodak Black saying something super disrespectful to the brother Nipsey Hussle
Okay.
and the Lauren London and the whole family. It got to a point where we G-check somebody where they say you hating on me, where they say, why you judge if only God could judge me? You know, there was always this reason why you couldn't G-check somebody, and that disappeared for many years. How important is G-checking, if it is important? Because some of the G-checking back in the day was low-key hating. It was to prevent the youth from rising above whoever was doing the G-checking. So both systems had its good and its bad to it. But do you prefer the system of G-checking over the system of I could just say or do whatever I want with no repercussions? What system do you think works better within our culture, my brother?
well, when I brought up organizing a minute ago, and I showed you the example of the NOI and the FOI, Fruit of Islam, Nation of Islam. Hold on, when you come back in, bring that seaweed thing right there, that little box next to it. Yeah. So these organizations are powerful. They're marching into their centurion or centennial years, right? They're slowly approaching their 100th years, meaning that they've been around for a very long time in Black America. One of the reasons why these organizations stand is because of the key word organize. And inside of an organization, whether it's a legal or illegal organizations, henceforth the title organized crime, what you see in that is the fact that there's some kind of discipline, there's order, and there's a lot of G-checking taking place. So unorganized crime is what you see in Kodak Black and the antics that these youth that are running wild these days are doing. And we're not going to get into the shenanigans about, you know, who raised them like that. We know who raised them like that. So it's going to be the people who raised them like that that's going to unraise them. It's going to be the people who raised them like that that's going to G-check them. You know what I'm saying? Because if the hip hoppers of the 90s and the 80s were responsible for dropping the ball and whatnot, if the P. Diddy's and the take that, all about the Benjamins, money over everything, money over spirituality, materialism over spirituality, it's all about the Benjamins, you know, money, power, and respect. And all of these other mantras that came out of the bad boy era. And I speak about this extensively, that the shit began to go wayward during the bad boy era. Also during the quote unquote, we don't love these hoes, Death Row, pimps up, hoes down era coming out of the West. Yeah. All of that got to get checked. All of that got to get G-checked. You know what I'm talking about? All of that got to get G-checked. So, going back to what I was saying about this 400-year jubilee that we're in, if we're bookmarking and closing up the curse, how the hell is the curse going to get put in a box so we could go into 2020 with a white tuxedo? You trying to go into 2020 putting on a tuxedo and you ain't take a shower for 400 years. Woo. So, in order to G-check, in order to straighten up what's been crooked, in order to bring some kind of law and order back to a culture that's lawless, you know what I mean? Tinkering on what is known as our dark ages, because everybody's a savage. So savages, goblins, ghouls, and whatnot can only exist during the dark ages. Facts. So we're headed towards either the dark ages or we're headed towards a reformation period where heads might have to roll in order for order to be maintained and to be reestablished, because I promise you, we can go nowhere as a culture if we don't practice some kind of order, if we don't practice some kind of rule of law, if we don't practice some kind of quote-unquote chain of command, if we don't practice some kind of, rank and file, hierarchy. That's traditionalism. This new thing that's going on with individualism and whatnot, it goes against traditionalism. It's a new form. It's new age, right? It's a new form of government because it's not just the hip hop. Nigga, America is an individual going against traditionalism. That's why they got beef with China and Russia. These are traditional countries. That's why they got beef with Iran. These are traditional countries. These
They're at war with tradition.
They're at war with tradition. These countries represent being. America is still forming. It's still in its formation. It's not solid. It didn't finish forming. It has no identity because the identity changes over the years. It's not traditional. It's not cemented in anything. It's a liberal country, and liberalism is not. It's the enemy to traditionalism. And I don't like individualism, and I don't like all of this weird shit. I don't like no gender. I don't like I said, they're coming up with all of these new things. They're coming up with all of these new ways. They're trying to rename Harlem and shit like that. Like
to
Noha.
What?
I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? They try to rename
Right.
and repurpose and all of these. They want to always try out something new. They always want to try out something weird. They always want to introduce something, you know what I mean, that's going against nature. The 4/4 hertz is going against nature. That's not real. That's not traditional. That's America. That's them trying out some shit in mid-flight. And that's not what's up. And we revere, we go on all of these vacations to go amongst monuments and all of that other stuff. The reason why these monuments stand and the reason why you're attracted to it is because it's traditional. You going into Zululand. You going into Kemet. You going into these places in the Congo. You going into Yoruba land. You going into Cuba. You going in to get all of these initiations and scarred and you getting scratched and whatnot because what? You're tapping back into tradition.
Yep, there you go.
It ain't no new app. It's not some shit that they just can't. It's not Crowleyism.
The new app. Oh yeah,
it's not the Crowleyism. It's not all of these new satanic demonic cults that are coming about where they're trying to remix the original shit. They're trying to remix and they're trying to put new faces on what it is that we've been.
I've seen this vampire cult thing take the Ankh. I'm like, yo, why? What? They hijacking the Ankh. So you're right. They try to remix our traditions and bastardize it and transform it to some other stuff that doesn't serve humanity. You're right, bro.
That's non-cipher, right? So for the Kodak blacks of the world, remember he got 80 strikes. He went against the Gucci thing, right? He got mad rape charges, right? He said something crazy about our heavy melanated black sisters. He don't do dark. He's called black women ugly, right? He's been accused of a lot of sexual violence. You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly is on he went down on a statutory rape. Kodak Black is just going, they got him accusing of just Debo in the box. Like, aggressively taking something sacred from women. He wanted to sleep with Young M.A. So he's basically telling you he's sexually undisciplined. That anything he doesn't see.
Forgot about that. The Young M.A.
Yeah.
My young brother's out of control.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. He needs a big homie intervention because
he's that G-check, brother.
He's
Rich.
spiraling. He needs that G-check. G-checks. Remember, if you belong to a culture or organization or a movement where you have people who are unapproachable, who are beyond reproach, then you're in a plutocracy or a low-level dictatorship, and then you're in a cult. You're like Jim Jones. You're like the Jonestown cult. You're gonna see the ego of your leader or your cult guy begin to, become worsened. And because he's going to become drunk with power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. You see that in the cults. You see that in the sex cults. You see that in a lot of these quote unquote movements that went awry because the leaders was sexually undisciplined and was sleeping with everybody. And then there's talks of rape. And then there's talks of molestation. And then there's all of these secrets that come out later on down the line because nobody could G-check the nigga at the top. Nobody could G-check the lieutenants. Nobody could G-check the captains. Nobody could G-check Hitler. And look what he did.
Yeah, so yeah, the lack of accountability.
The lack of accountability.
Is
That's
what deteriorates the whole thing. Yeah, checks and
what,
balances.
what's been running rampant
Checks
in the community since the calendar year 2019? The great divine, the universe, has been presenting us with opportunities where collectively we could have held our own accountable. So we don't gotta wait for the court system.
Right.
We don't gotta wait for the NYPD or the police department. Did on Monday. They were saying we're too brutal and too excessive, but on Tuesday you're like, lock them up and let's see what the DA is gonna do. Like, you know what I mean? So it's a hypocrite. It's a hypocritical standpoint. You know what I mean? But we have to restoring power or restoring order comes with a chin check, my niggas. It comes with a G check. If you don't have nothing to hide, you shouldn't be scared of the G check. People who you know. So going back to what I was saying about the accountability. So R. Kelly, the dude who beat up the girl in the parking lot in Texas with his mob ties and nobody went after him. The Gucci thing,
got off no
where
charge, right?
they wearing Gucci heavy right now in the Deuce. I just came upstairs. Niggas got Gucci fanny packs, belts.
That's bootlegged.
I'm just saying. There's not a lot of accountability taking place in our community, and people are spinning a lot of stories to fit their agenda. They out there clout chasing. They're not stretching the narrative to where it lands on accountability, so we can have niggas feeling nervous about messing up in the culture. You got to bring that back. Niggas ain't nervous. They know that there's nobody to answer to. But if they feel like that there's a drop squad out there, or if they feel like that they could get checked in the airport, at, you know what I mean, at their concerts, you know what I mean, on the way to the label, wherever they at, somebody will run down on them and you know what I'm saying, put the hands of God in their presence.
That's why I really love the spirit of how Nipsey's becoming an ancestor has inspired the G's to really become more accountable. Because you know, the concept of unify the hood, heal the hood is nothing new. This has been an ongoing resonance and an ongoing chant and call to action. And you know, in different instances in the East Coast, the West Coast, and the South, you have brothers were inspired to drop arms and become, you know, come on the same accord. But with everything Red Pill is saying applies to the G's specifically. If we're not holding the brothers and sisters, the community has to hold the gangsters accountable to the accountability, and the gangsters got to hold each other responsible for the accountability. You know, and I always speak about how the original intent of all of those formations echo that. You know, and they know that. You know what I'm saying? And this is why you can have the FOI, you know, circle power around them and keep that accountability to empower them, because they all come from that foundation. Especially with the, I can't speak for the Latino gangs, but I could definitely speak for the the Blood Nation, the Crip Nation, the Folk Nation, the People Nation. You know, these brothers and sisters are not aliens and Martians. They belong to our people. They are our brothers and sisters. These are our extensions of ourselves. So when we begin to empower them and support them in their efforts and hold them accountable to their efforts, and they hold each other accountable, then Red Pill, we can have situations like you say, a drop squad can come up out of that discipline. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Latino gangs, they evolved out of their movements. They had revolutionary movements. Remember, even in Latin America, a lot of their movements were formed by farmers. They were labor forces that formed into quote unquote movements. You dig what I'm saying? And then this was prior to narcotics becoming, these places becoming narco states, because they went from socialist reform until basically those drug gangs and whatnot and taking over. So even with the Lords, what are the Spanish brothers out of the Bronx? The Young Lords.
The Young Lords, okay, yeah.
The Young
The Young
Lords
Lords.
came up in the 70s, and they were revolutionary. They were disruptors, and they were banging on, occupiers of Puerto Rico and things of that nature. And they were inspirational to the Neanderthals and the Latin Kings and other people of that nature. So in all of our street organizations, you see foundations of quote unquote revolutionaries, street revolutionaries who sometimes got out of order. Things got out of order. Look at what we have in Chicago with Chief Malik and Larry Hoover and whatnot. Look at what they were doing with the GDs and whatnot. Look how that was a revolutionary in progress. Those were revolutionaries in progress. Look at the bastards of the party, what we have in LA with the Crips and the Bloods coming out of the quote unquote Black Panther Party after the falling of the Panther Party, after the dismantling of the Panther Party, after the infiltration through COINTELPRO of the Panther Party. You have an offshoot that was basically, this offshoot was, coerced. Narcotics always play a big hand in switching these groups into becoming social groups and whatnot who are out here trying to help their people into these quote unquote drug crews. Because if we don't have discipline, if we don't have organization, if your crime is unorganized, you will fall, you will fail, you will be at the bottom of the totem pole. I could look at different nations, I could look at different social groups, I could look at different nationalities, and I could see how their underworld or their organized crime syndicates have positioned them into a power where collectively their whole nation is respected. Wow. Collectively, their whole nation is seen as disciplined because they don't let a lot of goofies get out of line because there's a level of checks and balances, and it's an unseen hand. You understand? It's an unseen hand. They don't do it on TMZ. They don't do it on quote unquote. They don't wait to do it on social media. They keep their people in line with law and order, and they have a penalty system, they have a value system, and they have a reward system. If you put in work for the family, you will be rewarded. If you get out of line, you will be penalized by the family. You understand? And if you stay solid and 10 toes down, and if you stay in alignment, if you take care of your family, because remember, a majority of these organized syndicates, they still do what? They say they're doing it for family and for their mothers. That's what you see in the Italian mafia. You understand? Mama came first. So if you get out of line, you will be penalized. And if you stay 10 toes down in alignment, they'll add value to your family's name. They'll add value to your overall pocketbook. And I'm not encouraging anybody by making these statements. I'm a realist, and I'm speaking about what exists.
Right.
If you want to be square, and if you want to live that godly life, and if you want to be puritanical, I'm just apply that to your walk. Apply that to your mission. Apply that to what you do. But if you don't have a level of checks and balances, if you cannot G-check the people around you that are out of order, if you know what I mean, if you can't sit down the person who is your leader and speak to them and tell them when they're messing up and when they're out of line and when they're out of order, then you don't belong to an organization. You a bandwagoner. You just belong. You know what I mean? You're just a stand to whoever that person is. Don't confuse me.
Like I said, this was me and SupaNova said this event with the brother Nipsey Hussle was a spiritual trigger. It got a lot of people triggered spiritually right now. Yeah, spiritually, emotionally, physically, rightfully so. But what's interesting is the fact that usually somebody who can cause something like this to happen is a mega superstar. This brother wasn't a mega superstar. This is something like you see a Michael Jackson, you see a Pac got murdered or Big. These are people that are platinum, multi-platinum, huge stars when it comes to music. Nipsey his music wasn't known like that. He wasn't played on every station in every city. You knew him if you was a fan of real music and if you was a fan of hip hop. But if you was in the pop culture, pop music, you might not have known of Nipsey. The brother was 33 years old, but for some reason, his death resonates strong as if he sold as if he was a superstar, as if he sold millions and millions of albums. What do you think this is? What do you think this is a result of? I'm not a music superstar, but my death has affected people like I'm a music superstar. What is that a result of?
Well, he had. I could tell you, from he is what they call a reputable. You know, reputable in the street culture is someone that has the elders behind them, right? And they also the reputation was positive. He actually put money back into the community. He actually a lot of the things that Tupac said we need to do, Nipsey actually manifested.
He did.
You know what I'm saying?
He did.
And a lot of the rappers that are more famous than him always respected and loved him for his efforts. You know what I'm saying? So he was one of those rappers that were really loved and embraced by his contemporaries, and the hood really messed with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Behind, you know, Brother Daylight, you know, he shares a story that how Nipsey, when certain fractions of the Crips were still battling with others, he would just go into other neighborhoods and start to talk to the elders and be like and talk about his vision to unify, you know, and he would like, there were peace treaties that were broke up between certain Blood and Crips sets. He would try to foster how he could support to reignite them. So he just did a lot of stuff that regular rappers and his caliber, he had the money, you know, he had the clout, he had the situation, wouldn't really go back to do. And I think that really, we're seeing how more and more people are looking at a lot of his bills that he would have on, you know, social media, and how he would articulate himself in his clips, and they really been inspired by this brother. You know what I'm saying? And I really feel that you know, him now being an active ancestor, everybody can be triggered, you know what I'm saying, to add on to the build. Yeah, right.
Like, there's been, since our good brother Tupac Shakur has left us, there's been a bevy or a plethora of artists who are trying to compare themselves to Tupac Amaru Shakur. I've always said that they've got one thing wrong. They copied his physical appearance. Ja Rule was one of the ones who was identified as copying his swag off his first video. Bald-headed bandana, no shirt on, holla holla, can I get a woo woo? Then they said DMX was running with the prototype as well. He fit the bill. Master P on the back of the source cover he first rose in prominence. He had a picture in the cemetery with the glove iced out called West Side Connections or something, and he was trying to run with that, right? What I said that people got missing, besides the bandana and the tattoos and the bald head, was the fact that what made Tupac is that he was an anomaly because he was a revolutionary. Right. You understand? Right. They never wanted to repeat that part. All of these people who cloned him, they never wanted to pick up that aspect of the secret.
They conveniently left that part out.
They conveniently left the part of the secret formula, though.
Yeah.
Right? Because we live in this post world where Raheem was killed on Menace to Society, right? They ridiculed through Living Color deep niggas with the, you know, with one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. In Menace to Society, the smart nigga got killed in a shootout, and in Boys in the Hood, the Sharif, get your smart ass out of here, right? So they relegated being deep when gangster rap took over. What you trying to kick knowledge? Remember what Jay-Z asked Nas? What you trying to kick knowledge, nigga?
Shit garbage.
Shit garbage. Now he's the one kicking knowledge, right? And Nas is chilling. So so we find ourselves, you know, in a place where people they didn't get the ingredients to Tupac right. One of the artists who exemplified Tupac's energy, bar none, and the comparisons are being made, and I've said it on record, and I'll say it again, that he qualifies beyond any artist that has come after Tupac to fit comfortably on the Mount Rushmore. You can't replace Tupac. You can't be Tupac. You can't replace Biggie. You can't replace Jay, and you can't replace Nas. You cannot even clone them. Many attempts were made during their storied careers. Right. You remember Sicario? And the other people to try to sound like Jay, and the other people to try to sound like
all about Sicario.
Remember Shine?
His career was real short.
Gorilla, what was Gorilla Black? The people that were trying to clone Big. These are carbon. These are not facsimiles. These are original OG DNA. Henrietta Lacks, the source. Yeah. So Nipsey is a combination of Jay, Pac, and a few others. He said it in his rhymes. Yeah. And what people don't realize, that the people spoke once again, like they spoke on the post with Puff that I wrote under. The people have spoken. They're letting you know what they want. They're letting you know what they think is champion. They're letting you know what resonates and what's been missing in the culture. They're letting you know what a real G is. They're letting you know what gangster is. It's the people talking, and if you don't want to listen to them, you're going to have to hear them again. Yeah. Because that's what you see. Right. The people are letting you know who. Remember, it's the people who are going to crown you. He's the people's champ. You understand? The people crowned him.
Yeah.
You don't gotta sell albums no more.
Everybody buying themselves a crown. The people gotta crown you for you to be their king. The people gotta crown you.
There's a lot of people in our community that's self-anointed. You understand? There's a lot of people in our community
cult to personality.
And gave themselves the title. The people did not give it to them.
Right.
They anointed themselves.
The king.
You understand?
Yeah.
They anointed themselves with not with Muslim oil. With that sample from Sephora,
high off the likes,
that shit dries up.
High off the likes.
You could have.
They snorting them likes,
but that oil dried up, bro.
Yeah.
You didn't get that real oil. The people only can anoint the leaders.
Right.
The people will anoint you, God. You can't self-appoint. It's called self-aggrandizement.
And the people hold you accountable, and they hold you accountable.
We had a lot of that in our community, and everyone who appointed themselves did what? They didn't live up to their titles.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Because the people was saying we're gonna hold you accountable to that.
Yeah.
It's fact. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, what does Ascension Protocol, what does Nipsey passing show you, and what did I say on many occasions after coming from funerals, family? Don't get it fucked up. It's not how you start this, bitch. It's how you finish it.
Come on.
Stop getting caught up in trying to be God on earth. It doesn't exist. You have to put in work while you're here, and then you have to not be scared to tap out. And when you get tapped out, they run your motherfucking credit, and then we see who you are. The artists, these humans, their hearts are being weighed.
Is everything all right with the mic? They're saying the mic. I think Red, you gotta put.
What's
wrong with the mic? Let me know what's wrong with the mic.
Check.
Hearts are being weighed on a scale, and if it's not as light as a feather, the people would let you know.
Facts, bro.
So it's not about what you do. You don't give money to homeless people and record it so we can see it. You do your deeds in private and in public, not for self-aggrandizement. Nipsey Hussle wasn't on Instagram stunting. Nipsey Hussle wasn't on Snapchat stunting. He wasn't a part of stunt culture. He was out there doing the work, because when you see a void, you fill the void, and you don't ask permission, and you don't wait for somebody to tell it, or you're not waiting for a check to get cut in order to start doing good, my Negroes. You do the good, and when the doing the good is gonna make the check get cut. You gotta be in your flow state of God. You gotta be in the flow state of a God. Niggas is this. You tap into God's flow state, and then you wake up anointed, and then you listen to the God on your shoulders, or you listen to the God within, or you download the frequencies that are coming through the tree of life, and that's what's gonna put you on your mission. You go to Ra-Aku, you go to Aquarius Maximus, you get your chart. Your chart is your GPS, and you follow the goddamn map. And when you on your Dora Explorer, right? Looking for the treasure, you will find it. And when you find the treasure, you tap out, meaning that you ascend. You give up your husk. You might do it when you still have all of your teeth, or you might do it when you're wearing a Depends diaper. You know what I'm talking about? But I tell you this. The legends in our culture die young. Name me a legend who died at 90 and you niggas was revering them like they put in mad work. We do have those, but
Sabi, what age Sabi died?
Sabi was in his 80s, right?
So that's close.
That is true, and that's why I say we have our anomalies, and he ascended.
Dick
Gregory. We have our legends. And that is a tightrope that you walk. They said it in the movie Batman and Superman. The hero could stick around long enough to become the villain. A lot of people haven't made it that far. as you can see with the icons who they've been toppling their statues, they've been, you know, Cosby was trying to walk that tightrope to be a legend and an immortal. Farrakhan is on. He's definitely on point. You know what I mean? He's walking that rope. He's walking that fine line. He is an icon beyond. Yeah, he is one of the greatest icons of this era. You understand? And when they run his credit, he will be. He's gonna rise higher in his fame. He's gonna penetrate households. He's gonna penetrate the calcified pineal of our people who are walking around in a stupor, who can only listen to the 440 frequency of the ELF waves that are being sent out.
Come on, brother. Yeah.
But some of our people are operating on a 432, even a 433. You dig what I'm saying? And it's evident in their works. It's evident in their quote unquote YouTube clips, like the Sabi clips that people are all watching now, of all colors, of all backgrounds.
Sabi's like the most Google person right
DJ
now.
Vlad, green light. That's all I gotta say. DJ Vlad, green light on him. Okay? Green light.
Oh, he disrespected?
Green light.
Yeah,
no fly zone, green light.
Wow.
Bring his beard back to me. Anyway, going. Let's continue. But we in hip hop culture, we have gods amongst us. We have great ones amongst us. We're not gonna be we're not petty. We're not Tom Petty and whatnot. We're not trying to single out individuals because we belong to a pantheon, and this pantheon is thick like an encyclopedia. So in this encyclopedia, there are many gods and goddesses. Don't get it messed up. Don't live like a European. Don't live in Rome and think like a fucking Roman. Think like a Carthaginian. A Roman European mind state is a fragmented mind state, and that's the comparative mind state where they try to measure individuals and say, nah, you're greater than that, or it could only be one with them. They're monolithic. We're poly. So there's many demigods in our walks of life. We know that there's many demigods. We know that Voltron exists in our culture. So we're not mono. Right. Mono comes from a European scarce mind state. We are abundant. Come on. 99 attributes to Allah.
Come on.
You know talking about?
Talk that, bro.
You know talking about?
Cloth talk, bro.
99.
Talk that talk. Yes,
so
brother.
I'm looking for 99 gods and goddesses to be amongst me.
Come on, manifest.
A fist is stronger than a finger.
Come on, that's right. Come on.
So why is he popping like this? Because it's Ascension Protocol. Hermes is a child of God. He got I might get the prolific face tat. That I'm talking to people right now about it. But I think that to honor that man, I might put prolific on my face. I have no tattoos.
That'd be your first one.
That'd be my first one. Then I catch up to you.
Yeah, brothers, go.
But he's prolific,
yeah.
And the people are saying that they want inspiration, they want motivation. They don't want you to talk about it. They want you to do it, and they would rather you do it from a place where you're in a disadvantage in a gang. That's what's so sexy about it.
Right.
He's not a square broadcasting live from Harvard. He's in the trenches carrying out a Christ consciousness. Woo. Carrying out on the 400th year of our curse that he broke the fucking curse. How about that? Wow. He broke the curse. Everybody's not going to get it right now, but the 144,000, they got it. They got it. And he broke the curse.
Activate.
And more curses are going to be broke in this Jubilee year. But God damn it, he broke the curse. So there's a lot of young women and men right now who are living under the curse of the deaf culture of deaf hop. Of shit hop. No, shit hop. Who breeds the shitty cousins of the world. You understand? Shit hop. The Black Dot coined that term. Shit hop bred shitty cuz. And hip hop bred Hermes or Hermes of our age. The Hermes of our era. Hermes Crick Magistus. Hermes Twist Magistus. Not Tris Magistus. It's Hermes Twist Magistus. Or Hermes Crip Magistus. Okay? We're going to have to come out with the emerald tablets of Nipsey. But he's giving you commandments. He's giving you life. And he's showing you a path to walk. Because remember, the big homie is the big homie because he's giving you breadcrumbs. He's laying out from the one who laid bricks is laying the yellow brick road. I'm talking about Jehovah. Somebody talk black to me. Talk to me. The big homie is the big homie because of the fact that he's giving you what? Cloth. He's giving you inspiration, and he's giving it to you in his walks.
Come on. Facts.
Nipsey Hussle was inspired by Jay-Z. Don't get it fucked up, rock brunchers, okay? Don't get it messed up. He's inspired by the big homie. The big homie is the big homie.
Yeah, that's facts.
Let's stop playing with this shit. Okay? The big homie is the big homie. So the big homie, when the big homie taps out, the big homie is God, nigga. He is who the fuck he said he is. He's Hove. Let's not play with this shit. Like I said, we belong to a divination system. I am no longer a human. I belong to a divination system called hip hop. I'm God in the flesh. Okay? I am God in the flesh. I'm cool with that. And I'm amongst a pantheon of gods and goddesses. We're writing history as we breathe every single day. This is biblical. This is prophecy. This is, goddamn it, this is Corinthians 1:87. You know what I'm talking about? That's what we see and take place. And if you can't approach it from that place and you're stuck into Caesar Bourgeois, I feel sorry for you.
Come on.
Because that shit is done.
Wow.
Them days is over. We are the new Bible. Like AA taught us, we write our own Bible. God damn it.
That's right.
So
shout out to
we
AA.
are the chosen ones. We are the ones that we have been waiting for. We are the fallen angels. We archangels. You living in Crenshaw and Slauson, my nigga, you're an archangel. Okay? You're an archangel. You fell in the motherfucking trenches from the highest levels of Christ consciousness. But you gave up your husk at 33, my Negroes, my Nagas, my Negoses. He's a Naga. He's a Negus from the Eritrean Ethiopian lands. He's a Coptic Christian. How about it? How about it? He ain't no nigga. You understand? He has 2 continents and 2 nations in his bosom. In his DNA. Similar to Barack Obama. You understand? Yeah, that's right. Similar to him. He has 2 nations in his bosoms and whatnot. That's prophecy. That's it. You niggas get into your books. They talked about these people. Yeah. So they said that the book is alive, book of Eli. And if you niggas is caught up in this, and if you caught up in the past, then you are not in the presence of the present. That man spoke gifts like Christmas. His presence was a present. You understand? And all of us are not in alignment with the God frequency. So he wasn't a household name because niggas don't know what they see. They don't know what they're seeing until it's gone. Because everybody's not in the God frequency. They're on the 440 hertz. So they're looking at the wrong people. You understand? Because they're tricked. They're caught up in the quote unquote illusion. They're caught up. They are quote unquote the walking. They're the people that got turned into salt. They're Romans. They are in Rome, living like Romans. How you gonna see God if you living like a Roman? How you gonna see a Coptic Christian if you look up to Caesar Bourgeois? You don't know what you looking for. You don't know what you looking at. Come on. You know what I'm talking about? These niggas is in a box, but young Nip broke that box. You know what I'm talking about? And even his queen, Lauren London, she's sending out vibes. She put your mother on a pedestal. She's a sacred woman. G-Crew interview. She is a sacred woman. Yeah, that is a fact.
Yeah, she's on it.
Talk black to me.
Yeah, well, yeah, Nipsey.
A week before he transitioned.
Nipsey told his queen to continue to activate your sacred woman principles. I mean, he was very supportive of her and Mom's relationship and building on the Kemetic principles. He was very supportive. Yeah, Mom spoke to Nipsey a few times, and
that's right.
He was excited about his queen, glowing.
And I
so
saw
he was a brother that supports. You know what I'm saying? Supported his woman at the highest level.
I saw Mom at the memorial in Slauson and Christian front the Marathon store. Mama looking radiant, shining, her light as always. To her. And Mama's gonna bring energy she's gonna bring healing energy to the family. To Sister Lauren and that beautiful babies they have.
I'm gonna tell you because we gotta close it out real quick, family. But we're talking about the elders and what they could bring to the community. I was at the God Frequency conference. I'm putting together this big conference, so I'm running around and I'm doing so much. SupaNova brother Ali came up to me. He said, "Yo, moms want to say a prayer for you and your queen." So I'm so busy in my mind. I said, "Oh shit, I ain't got time for this." Then something said, "Rich, man, cut that shit out. Go get that prayer."
Go get that prayer.
So I went to get the prayer. Me and my girl went to get the prayer. Man, it was the best decision I ever made.
Wow, brother.
Me and my girl, it was like, whoa, we didn't expect that. On everything. On God and them.
On God.
On God and them. On God and them. You know what I'm saying? On God and them. It was something I didn't expect that. Because I'm in the, I'm looking to make my conference successful.
That's right,
I'm
right.
counting money.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
counting chairs. I'm looking at people, making sure the place is in order,
Right.
whatever. So I'm like, I'm about to pass up on the prayer, but I did the
Wow,
prayer,
you
and it
received
was
the prayer.
one of the most amazing prayers ever. So my point is that, what is it about your mom? We're talking about mothers, and we're talking
Can I add
about
on a testimony real quick.
yeah.
about
After I
his
finish,
mother?
yeah. What is it about mothers? Let me just finish this point, Red. What is it about mothers that I see your mother has this amazing ability? How she like affected me and my queen. Like I consider myself an advanced being, so it's hard to penetrate
Right.
my aura. So when you penetrate me on some emotional shit, it's like, oh, it's like, wow, it's like, whoa. So she penetrated me like that, penetrated my queen like that, and I see she got this connection with women in the music industry, the entertainment industry, strippers,
I do.
singers, actors, actresses, whatever. Your mother is like affecting everybody in whatever sector you are in life. How is your mom able to do that, man? You got a hell of a mother, my brother.
She is she's the queen servant of her people. See, when you her father was a Garveyite, and he told her that he was raising her to be a high service to her people.
That's right.
So when the doctors told my mother, for those that don't know, we're talking about Queen of Four, they told my grandmother that she would not live past 20 because
who that?
my mother wouldn't live past 20 because she had severe asthma and eczema and all types of other, just really, at the time, really horrible diseases. And she got with Reverend Dr. Johnny Moore, who was a herbalist out of Chicago, when she was 18. And she went to a wellness retreat when she was 18, and she detoxed. And she for the first time, she was able to be around nature and not have like an allergy attack, and not be triggered by that. So she just kept cleansing. In about a year, she had no more asthma attacks. The doctors were boggled to my grandmother, like, what the hell is she doing? Like, she's not supposed to be even doing this. So moms at that point, became a wellness warrior. She really started to live the principle of healing thyself. And she looked around and saw her family first. First, it was like, okay, I'm healing myself, look at my family. And she tried to, reach out to her family. Her father, my grandfather, the Garveyite, he was receptive to her healing before he transitioned from the planet. But everybody thought she was crazy. And then she said, you know what? I'm going to take this testimonial and just inspire my community, And she remembered what her father said about service. And then she said, I'm going to use my testimonial and what I know to help myself to be a bridge to help heal thyself with others. And so, when at an early age, this is when she's 18, she got the light bulb to do this, to heal herself.
At 18?
At 18, wow. because the doctors gave my grandma until she was 20, so she became a vegetarian when she was 18, and vegan by the time she was 21. But that type of dedication to her healing and transformation, I feel that allowed her to open up to the spiritual sensitivity of the cosmos and allow her to continue to stay in a state of service. And the more she was able to do more service, she became a living, I call it the mothership, the mothership connection. She became a living mothership connection in service to her people. So when she links with her spiritual sons, Blue, Red Pill, or yourself, Rich, right? It's like she's family. She's already a family. She doesn't look at you all different from me and Ali. She doesn't.
Right.
She doesn't approach it. Oh, you're this Ali and SupaNova, my sons and y'all. No, she looks at it as you are her children. She looks at your mothers as her sisters. You know what I'm saying? So I think my mom has that. She humbles herself to that frequency. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. She was my inspiration as a wellness warrior because she told me when I was real small, she said, son, you're going to come across a lot of black people with different views than you and than us, right? She says, but love them anyway. She says, we're not at war with our people. She said, always find a way to be harmonious with your people, even if you disagree. This is why I never took on a dogmatic thinking. I was raised how I was raised, but I never took on this pompous I'm better than you attitude because of mom's. Mom always said, you know, you can learn something from a brother or sister to better yourself, you know. Right. And so because of her and my first stepfather, Baba Phil Valentine, for those that know that, my mother and Baba Phil Valentine were married at one point before her and Baba Phil, before her and Baba Heru were married. And so those two men in my life with moms, you know, that allowed me to continue to be in the spirit of service. You know what I'm saying? And so mom, brother, I think mom is just really excited to continue until she leaves the planet to stay in the spirit of service and gratitude. You know, and that's her trigger. You know, how can I inspire brothers and sisters to continue to serve each other at the highest level? So, yeah, that's
one of the things that stuck to me today. Right, it came to me after I saw the video with our good brother Ermias's mother, Angelique. Right, Mama Angelique, Nipsey Hussle's mother. And I was like, damn, this sister, she done healed my heart. She got me. I booked my ticket to LA immediately after that. You know, I don't even have the tickets yet. They go on the website tomorrow, right? The Staples Centers and whatnot. I already bought the ticket. Okay. I was like,
squared away, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying about Mama? What's her name? Mama? What's
Mama Angelique.
Angelique. Okay, right.
I said, look, there's often a saying about behind every strong man is a woman. And we give the credit to our wives because they deserve the credit. But I promise you, you point out a strong man on this planet that's standing up for his people, right? And that's feeding his people, right? And who is out there being great. And I promise you, it's not them, bro. It's their mama. Wow. She the foundation.
Come on, brother.
Okay? You will have no Biggie without Valletta. You will have no Tupac without a Feeny.
That's right.
You will have no SupaNova without Queen of Four. Right. You will have no Father Rich, right? What was your beautiful mother's name?
Adrian.
Without Adrian. You will have no AA without Hafisa.
We have no Blue Jose without no Mother Pill. Come on, Pill. That's right. That's right.
I'm telling you, behind our great ones, behind Malcolm, his mama was a Garveyite.
Come on, bro, talking.
You feel me? Woo. These great men have great mothers who they love and who they protect.
Wow. Yes, brother. Wow.
Dr. Sabi talked about mama all the time.
Come on.
He always talked about mama.
Woo.
And then we also have some of our brothers who are suffering because daddy's not there. When I saw 21 Savage mama, I said he great because of her. And his father was great too.
Right.
But he was crying because his father wasn't there for him. My son's mother is great. He's great because of her.
Come on.
You understand? My daughter's mother because of her mama.
Right.
You understand?
Facts.
I see the greatness in mothers.
Come on, brother.
I see the nurturing aspect on how they're creating these gods and these goddesses. At the end of the day.
Come on.
Even with Kodak, with the way that I feel about him, I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt because I seen his mama. And I know that I know where he come from, and she ain't no trashy woman.
Salute to mama. Salute.
And if they would have caught Red Pill at 18, they probably would have canceled me, the culture that is. You feel me? Because I was running around rampant. In a diseased mind state. Poverty consciousness. Disobeying my mama.
Disobeying, yeah.
She ain't put me out there like that. I was rebelling against her because I thought I should.
Yeah, exactly. You're right, brother.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Because I was confused. I didn't know what the culture was telling me. I didn't know what the fuck the culture was telling me. They had me as a teenager. They had them 4440 frequencies had me fucked up. The Snoop was telling me I don't love these hoes. Dr. Dre was pouring 40s on women, and it just had me in a bad place. I didn't know what was going on.
Damn, I remember that was 40s. Wow, not even champagne back then. 40 ounces.
Reggae music,
40 ounces.
dancehall
Wow.
music brought me back into the aspect of love. The love frequency, listening to roots culture, going to Biltmore, Tilden, Starlight, and all of the Ark and all of that.
Oh, you take it
Yeah,
back.
my nigga, take it back.
Take it back.
I'm in the DeLorean.
Yeah.
And not necessarily,
Right.
you know, early Bourgeois, early Garnet, Garnet before he made transition. All of that was love energy. It was
Love
all
energy.
about,
Come on,
they was
man.
all about serenading and bigging up the mother principle.
Yeah, facts, brother.
You understand?
Yeah,
The divine
yeah.
feminine.
Come on.
Browning and all of that.
All
you know,
of-
all
yeah.
of that. You know, so
Salute,
and then Lauryn came. Lauryn Hill came with the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. She disrupted all of those negative frequencies that I had going on in me.
Yeah, she
and then
uprooted it.
Outkast, you know, I was in Atlanta during the Outkast Goody Mob era, 97, 8, 9,
Oh,
and all
yeah,
that.
oh,
So
yeah,
I
nice.
benefited off of Neo Soul, and I benefited off of the rise of Erica, Angie Stone, and all of these
Oh,
things
yeah.
where that frequency was beginning to do something for me.
Power.
But I promise you, the power in all of us is our mamas. You understand? And we do this for our mamas.
100%.
Mothership connections.
Standing on this earth the way that we standing 10 toes down with testicular fortitude,
Come on.
with erect backs, the jet pillars intact, because our mamas gave us love, nurtured us, and they told us
Bro.
that we are gods.
Come on.
Facts and goddesses, of course.
I could
on.
be in the most
Power, bro.
beautiful heaven in all the universe and all the heavens and all the worlds, and if I find out that my mother's back on earth and I can help her, I'm coming motherfucking back here to help
right.
her.
Yeah.
If I could live 1,000 lifetimes, I would choose her every lifetime to be my mother.
That's right,
So I know
man.
exactly. I remember she used to try. She kept pushing Elijah Muhammad, Message to the Black Man, on me, and I'm looking at the book like, why she keep trying to get me to read this book, Message to the Black Man?
Yeah.
All this shit about pork and this and that, and trying to get me to watch Farrakhan. So you two brothers with your strong mothers, man, I appreciate what your mothers have done. Both of your mothers have helped me.
Your mother has
And you heard me talk. You heard me.
Your mother helped me.
So man, mama is important. Shit, mama is so important, family. And like Red said earlier, the presence of the father at home. We really got to get back to these 2-parent households.
Yeah.
We really got to get back to that family. That we got to get back. Eventually, get back to that somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Us as brothers, we got to be more responsible with who we busting our seeds up into. And I guess when our music starts to reflect that, like you said, you know, we might start to reflect that. But give me some closing comments, family. It's about to be 2 a.m. We got about 800 people still in the chat room rocking with us. Shout out to Osiris for holding me down. My moderator, Osiris, the whole night. Shout out to that brother.
Osiris.
Did an absolutely magnificent job, my brother Osiris. And go ahead, my brothers.
Inbox Osiris, inbox Brother Rich, Empress 44, inbox me your address. We're gonna gift you. We value your companionship. We value your you assisting us. We value your cooperativism. So we have to begin to reward. So I'm gonna reward you with something out of my inventory. You feel me? And that's how we got to start doing each other.
Send me your addresses and I'll send you some mega greens.
On your Google,
all right.
440 hertz.
Yeah. Same thing like brother Red just said. Y'all inbox me on SupaNova Slom on IG,
440 hertz
and we'll get you some mega greens.
Right. So,
Yo, hold on, I gotta say this. Yo, stupid. I'm gonna put it on blast. Y'all talking this shit. I just picked up my phone. My phone been down. My girl gonna text me. You better worship this yoni, nigga. In all caps. All right,
Tell her you gonna breathe with her.
I'm gonna breathe.
You gonna breathe
I'm
with
gonna
her.
breathe. There you go. I ain't gonna beat it up. I'm gonna breathe.
Breathe with you.
But
gotta get back to
say that. What you want me to pull up, Red? 440.
440 hertz conspiracy. We gotta get back to that, brothers. You know what I mean? We gotta get back to honoring what is sacred, and that is the yoni, and that is not beating it up. That's not disrespecting it. That's not tossing it all around. That's not using it as a dumpster. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, bro. Yeah.
You know, that's
Facts, bro.
healing. That's coming to terms with the fact that even if you didn't damage her, even if you didn't break her, even if you didn't molest her, even if you didn't abuse her, you could still apologize for the divine masculine energy that she may be coming, that she may still be struggling with to trust and to heal from.
Yeah.
And she may get triggered when other people remind her the hyper masculinity that takes place in the culture. Do you think that's not triggering people when niggas is beating on their chest and grabbing on their nuts and all of that?
Yeah.
Does that not remind them of these monsters who took advantage and who hurt them and whatnot? Why can't we, as protectors, as warriors, as fathers and whatnot, apologize for the father that wasn't there, apologize for the man that walked out, apologize for the man that hit it and abused and did all of that, apologize for the verbal abuse, emotional abuse, spiritual abuse, and things of that nature? It does not take anything away from us. Look at how the brother Nipsey honored and held up Nunu.
Come on.
You understand?
Come on.
He held her on a pedestal. They had a breakup.
Come on.
And he publicly went online to get her back. He realized that he could not live without Nunu. He realized that he could not live without the mother of his children. And instead of allowing the quote unquote reality, because we live in alternate universes, and not allowing that reality to set in and to become stone, he went back and changed it for the better.
Come on.
That is that's important.
That's the sacred masculine honoring the sacred woman. Look at that. That's powerful. Yeah, we got to detox from the from that toxicity. But read it, brother. Continue to each one reach one, each one teach one. Family.
Did you show the super mega greens?
Yes. The people that you bigged up, have them inbox me, brother Rich, and we'll send them some greens. You said brother Osiris.
Osiris, yeah.
Inbox
email me Osiris Rich and Merit. It says no signal. Okay, you got it. Hold up.
Yeah, tell him that we'll send him a bottle of the mega greens.
So I'm gonna close this out, family, with the with some information about the 440 hertz.
Hold up, Red.
Yeah.
Osiris, I just put my email. Email me. I'm gonna correspond with you. I'm gonna get SupaNova to send you the super mega greens.
Yep, we're gonna send you.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna send you super mega greens.
Yeah.
All right. Also the sister, that Empress.
Empress P444. Yeah. She is my moderator. She's the truth. I got a lot of love for that sister. She's always there. So yeah. So here we go. The 430 hertz versus the 440 hertz. This is in a nutshell what I was talking to my good brother Love P Diddy when I replied to the voice. If we change the frequency, then the people will change.
Come on.
Okay. Would you believe that there is a conspiracy theory about the way we tune musical instruments, and that theory involves the Nazis, chakras, and whatnot? No. Then sit down and enjoy perhaps the most conspiracy theory of all time. Okay. For different instruments to sound good together, they all have to produce the same tone, same pitch when they play the same musical note. Example, the A note. The usual way to specify a tuning is to give the frequency of the note A4. The modern standard is A, which equals 440 hertz, where hertz is a unit meaning per second. So 440 hertz refers to 440 vibrations per second, such as those of a string. To tune to this frequency, a musician would either listen to a tone played by some tuning device or tune by ear or use an electric tuner. The 432 conspiracy. If you Google 432 hertz, you will find a tremendous number of articles and YouTube videos about the tuning A, which is 432 hertz, and its presumed healing and soothing properties. If you dig a little bit deeper, you will also find an explanation of this phenomenon. Presumably, the 432 hertz tuning is in some way tuned to the vibrations of nature itself, whereas the 440 hertz was introduced by Joseph Goebbels, a Nazi minister of propaganda. So the Nazis changed the frequency of the tuning of the instruments on a global level in the quote-unquote rise of Nazi Germany when they took it off the 432 and put it on the 440. Later on in the 50s, America, the United States of America, after winning the war, did what? They put out they made that tuning a global thing.
Wow.
It says, yes, that's right. There are millions of people in the world who believe that garbos introduced the tuning to make people feel more anxious. Now, why should 432 hertz be so great? According to proponents of the theory, the number 432 has special properties. And indeed, it's an interesting number. It's a sum of 4 consecutive primes, 103 plus 107 plus 109 plus 113. It is exactly 3 gross, where gross is 144 is a traditional unit. An equilateral triangle whose area and perimeter are equal has the area of exactly the square root of 432. Then you will find many mystical arguments, such as there's 432 Buddha statues on Mount Meru, or that it is somehow related to the location of chakras, like what Polite said. There is even a claim that scientists at Nike's found out that the best golf balls has 432 dimples. I cannot say with certainty that there is no difference in the psychological effects of A, which is 432 hertz, and A, which is 440 hertz. But I suspect that there is no significant difference, since orchestras around the world used to tune anywhere from 400 to 470. And if 432 was some kind of a sweet spot, somehow we would have noticed by now. Any psychological effect of the tuning is likely caused by the simple fact that 432 hertz is different from what we are used to and would be pretty much the same as the effect of 440 if the standards were 440 hertz. Now, this article is pretty long, and I would encourage anybody to Google the 440 hertz conspiracy. It's not necessarily a conspiracy. They're putting it in a realm of conspiracy theory, but it is a proven fact that the 440 hertz help increase what is known as disease. It helped increase what is known as mind control. It helped increase what is known as quote unquote hypnosis and whatnot. That's why the Nazis were utilizing it as a form of propaganda, as a form of mind control, and as a form of subjugation to the quote-unquote people who they were subjugating. And 432 hertz has been thrown away and dismissed. And if you notice, if you look through times, you would notice a dysfunction and a devolution of humanity and mankind begin to take off after the 50s. You understand? Based off of the hertz. You will see disunity. You will see individualism. You will see LBGT and homosexuality rise up, which is unnatural. You will see many unnatural things like GMO, like unnatural sexual deviancy, like the fact that people who are unnatural and not in tune with nature begin to rise in power. That is not a theory. That is a fact. That has a lot to do with the frequency resonance that people are doing what? Eating. Because you eat through your ears and your eyes and in your mouth. So what we're taking in, the frequencies that we're taking in is beginning to confuse us. I would encourage everybody to go to sleep to binaural beats. Go to sleep listening to some jazz, preferably by melanated people who are heavily on opiates. You know what I mean? Tapping into a place, tapping into a mystical place, tapping into a place where they were able to manipulate sound and manipulate all kind of things. And here we find ourselves. I would encourage you to listen to 80s hip hop. A lot of that golden era hip hop. I would encourage you to listen to Bach, Beethoven, and all of those melanated composers that they talk about. I would encourage you to listen to soul music that was coming from the soul singers of the 60s and the 50s and whatnot, and get back in tune and get back in the line. When you write, when you make your music, tell your producers to tune the instruments to 432. Don't stop recording and stop letting these producers put our music on a 440. Get back to right frequency, and then we'll see a change. And then your lexicon will change. The way that you think will change. The way that you speak about each other will change. The way that you treat that yoni will change. And on that note, I just want to say, if the family is in the building on Thursday, don't be shy, because if Nipsey's ascension taught me anything, I'm not putting off running up and meeting people and telling them how much they have changed me and how much I love them to the next day. I'm going to give it up in real time. Real fucking time. That's right. Indeed. Cash App, Phil Moreland. Give it up in real time. Money sign. That's right. Love and light.
Love and light to the family.
You signing out? We ready?
www.supermegafoods.com. Holla at us. Super Mega Greens, Super Mega Foods. Get your Mega Foods on, family. Hit me up, SupaNova Slom on Instagram. I love you. I appreciate your Black Magic family. We appreciate the bill with our beloved brothers this evening, and continue to each one, teach one, continue to inspire each other in real time and activate. You know, what Diddy said, it was real key that I want to leave you all with, and he said, you know, we're quick to forgive our oppressors, you know, that incited slavery, right? But we won't forgive brothers and sisters that we grew up around that may have done us wrong. We'll hold a grudge, and we'll let that calcify into killing our brother or sister. He said, so he did say a point where if we can forgive the, you know, being enslaved and keep moving resiliently, then we should be able to approach each other with love and understanding, and know how to figure out we each other's we all we got. We each other's equation, and we're here to figure each other. We're here to figure this mathematical equation out called us.
The narrative is bigger than what people are trying to make it. This narrative is very expansive. We are not finished unpacking it. You have not heard the words of the Blue Pillar, who's bringing a whole nother angle and many more, you know, to the build. Hustle and motivate. The marathon continues. We running this victory lap, like Ermaeus' mother said. He's now in a new lap. Because remember, like they say, chess is played on 3 levels. Now the marathon is on 3 levels. Now he's starting his spiritual journey, because she said it out of her own mouth. We are humans having, we are spirits having a human experience. Come on. So there is no such thing as death. You need to embrace it. You need to welcome it. Like I said, put a date on it. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It's going to come. It's inevitable. Be a legend and an icon while you're breathing, though, because that's the only thing, like that man said. Breathe. That's God. It's your breath. You understand? Yeah. Breathe. Spirit. Being spiritual means to be in tune with the breath. Come on. If I take your breath away for 5 minutes, not ladies, I'm not talking about. If I physically take someone's breath away, then they will not. I could take food and water, right? But if I take breath away, you won't be here with us. You know what I'm talking about? So breathe tonight when you're with your lover. Breathe and synchronize. Synchronize the breathing. If you're by yourself, it's just you and your phone. Put on some mood music. Burn a candle and breathe. And breathe and think about being there, enraptured in the one who's gonna love you and whatnot. Put on that jazz music. Absolutely. Put on them trumpets. Listen to them strings. Know that our people are magical. Know that our people are mystical. Know that there's healing in the music. You understand? Even in the deaf culture, you can find a form of healing. Because people call hip hop deaf culture, but goddamn it, I'll be damn if Victory Lap is not one of the best albums that I've heard come out in the last few years. That's Nipsey Hussle's last body of work. Wait till you hear his new music drop. Oh wow, yeah. I just heard a preview of something that he got with Dr. Dre. I heard a preview of the Khaled song. He's gonna hold his whole summer down. So prepare yourselves, strap in. Like I said, we in a Jubilee year. You know what I'm talking about? We here, we smiling, we celebrating life. We not living in fear. Come on. We smiling in the face of adversity. God damn it. You know what I'm talking about? And we love to love, and we love you out there, loving light. You know what I'm saying? From the bottom of our hearts. We love you, and we know that you are great, and we are honored to be in your presence. And we here to do this as a collective, because if the Bloods and the Crips could unify, there's no reason why you conscious people can't. That's what everybody is looking at. Come on. That's the next step.
What you niggas gonna do?
I want to see.
Talk about it. Which one?
I want to see.
What you want to see? Oh, what you want to see, brother?
The enemies.
What you want to see, brother?
Of the NOI.
Come on.
Walk up and embrace the NOI at that young brothers. If you show up to Nipsey Hussle's funeral and you wearing an ankh and you don't embrace the brothers in a bow tie, you gonna get escorted out. And you not about that life, and you not about unity, and you an agent, and you a shitty cuz. If you are Israelite, a Hebrew Israelite, and you can't hug a brother in a Garvey sweater, or if you can't hug a brother with an African medallion, if you an 80 or West, and you can't hug a brother in a Jamaican flag, or if you can't hug a brother in an African flag, you just as worse as shitty cuz, and you're gonna get washed. I promise you. You're gonna be part of you're gonna be a part of the deluge. You're not gonna make it into this jump that we about to jump into the Ascension Protocol
we
of
banging on all
2020.
shitty cousins.
This is Avengers Endgame.
Endgame.
We're gonna Thanos snap all of you disagreeables off the planet.
All you
know what I'm
shitty
talking about? This is the deluge. This is Avengers Endgame. This is the end of the 400-year curse. Stay in line and stay on code. Facts. Stay in alignment. Don't let these charlatans and these weirdos take you off of your square. Don't let them take you off of alignment. You already know what it is and you know what it's not. You know what I'm talking about? You can roll with Kodak Black and shitty cuz, and you can roll with all of the fear mongers and the rebel rousers, and you can roll with all of the victimhood consciousness, and you can roll with all of that. We rolling with the winners in this victory lap. We rolling with Mama. We rolling with the power of our wizards. We rolling with the babies. We rolling with the evolutionaries. We rolling with the goddamn we rolling with the people that's doing STEM research. We rolling with the people that are out there that are doing technology, serial entrepreneurship. We rolling with those people. We rolling with the people who are creating their own movements. We rolling with the people who are working for their own self. We working with the people who are believing in themselves. That's who we rolling with. Hustle and motivate. Hustle and motivate. And with that being said, love and light to the family, and we out.
Peace, family.
Peace, family.
We out of here. Oh, yeah.